There we go, and we are live. Hey, everyone. It's the Sketch Zone podcast. I'm Carlos. And with us this week, we're going to be talking to someone who is a pretty good friend of mine, I would say. Relatively. We bonded quickly. We'll say that. You guys say hello to my friend JeanCarlo Mendez.
Hey, you guys, pleasure. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Our sound guy isn't here yet, so the studio audience hasn't been plugged in yet. So
Cool. No worries.
So so we're going to talk to JeanCarlo about his professional career as a video maker, filmmaker, winning awards and what that feels like. Oh, but first, let's say hello to Charlie.
Hey, what's up, Zone? I'm here. I'm back. I'm good to be here. I went first. Jack's not here, so I took my spot back. And I feel better. Moving on.
Jack should be joining us here in a little bit, but I just got home from the gym and I'm hella thirsty, but at the same time, I have to pee all the time and it's crazy. Hey, long arm, what's going on?
Or because you're hydrated.
Right, exactly. That's what I like to think. Hey, welcome to episode 182. Wow.
Getting up there. It's getting up there.
Getting there.
Like it.
So as we do always, let's go ahead and share my screen. And this is where we have our theme song for the fun prompt.
What we don't.
Ooh.
So last week, let's take a look at what we did last week. Last week we picked a spotty dentist in a bus stop. So let's see what the nation did.
Yeah, let's see what they did.
Here we go. Gus Fravel Ilustraciones.
Yo.
Ilustraciones.
That's pretty good.
That's great. So what was the prompt one more time? Sorry?
It was a spotty dentist at a bus stop.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, I like it.
Spotty dentist.
Yeah.
Man.
Got a little saber-toothed tiger leopard dude there. He's about to start yanking some
That's good
teeth.
work.
Yeah. Good job, Gus.
Hey, keep it up.
All right, let's see who else
Who's next?
streamed in. Joey Artwall. This one is
Avant-garde.
I'm trying to see.
I was trying to figure out.
Joey went way artsy this week.
Yeah. And I figured out what it was.
Oh, it's Totoro. Yeah, I see him now. And it's with like a stethoscope or a mirror, a dental mirror.
One of the exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
Dude, that is some film noir pretty stuff.
He heard you were coming.
I love it, man. Well, I'm a fan of his use of light in that. That's gorgeous. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So good job, Joey. Joey is in England and he usually, hey, Corey's sister's here.
Hey, Joey, I want to follow you. Actually, where's Joey's, what's his Instagram? At Art Joey Wall?
Art Joey Wall, yeah.
I'm sold on that one.
And he's in, he's got good work. He's in England, so he's probably waking up as we speak. He usually checks in before
he goes to work. You know what? Let's wake him up. Let's give him a call, right? Joey. Or Joey Wall.
Cool. All right, let's see who else.
Bella.
Steve Clark. Steve, like if you his feed is really good.
Yo, Steve's
dude.
Characters this week, man.
That's a cool character. That lion's something else.
Yeah, the characters you would see it in a dentist for kids. Like, hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you brush?
I love that the tiger has the toothbrush foam in his mouth. He's
he needs one
right now.
Really, you guys, this is a gold mine, man, for artists. I love this show. I'm in it, man. This is great.
Get well on the telly.
Yeah.
That's funny, long arm. So great job, Steve. I really like his work.
Very cool.
Oh, yours truly.
Oh, hey.
It's a row of teeth there, man.
Right. Like this dentist has some work to do.
Yeah, he does.
He got Like black folks say, he
What-
put
what-
his feet in it.
What kind of reptilian creatures would you say these are? Are they lizards, or the roof of his mouth looks like a snake? You know how the inside of their mouth is kind of Velcro like with reverse teeth. It's kind of like a
Right.
snake.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I'm into herpetology.
You know what? I have no idea.
I'm very into herpetology and lizards. Just let you know, catch lizards, man.
That's nice.
Into it.
That's funny.
Actually, I got a funny video of me catching a lizard.
Yeah.
You guys would probably dig it. Yeah, I should have
Are
sent
you
it.
catching a lizard?
Yeah, catching a lizard. I do something that's called a lizard lasso, and basically, a lot of reptiles, they can only really sense like heat and stark movement, especially from a hot object like a human or something, or a bird flying. So what I can do is I make this little lasso out of a blade of grass, a long blade of grass, like a long one, like the flowers that come from grass. And then you can basically tap a lizard with it, do whatever, and you just put it right around their neck and bam, you grab them. Done.
Are you like the
Puerto
Rican
MacGyver.
crocodile hunter?
Right. That's right. My grandpa taught me that move. Yeah. Works like a fucking charm, dude.
Yeah, so I have. Oh, hey, while we're here, chat, start letting us know what you guys want as the different categories. And that came in a little too slow because I think that's the end of that. Yeah, I could have sworn we had more.
I thought so too.
Maybe I'm cray.
Okay.
It froze for me. There it is.
Okay. So, with that being said, that means we're done there.
Now we got a new one.
A new one.
Yeah, pick
All
one.
right. As always, we have the different categories are adjective, animal, character, action, style, location. So chat. Oh, Noel is here. And we're off.
See? This is why. See? She told you you're crazy. Noel likes me though. Hey Noel, how you doing?
Don't you start.
I'm just saying hi to the chat. Hey.
Hi, girl. Hi. Okay, so someone give me a category. Anyone?
JeanCarlo.
Let's see. Any kind of category?
Yeah, any one of these.
The ones here. Which one?
So the way it'll work is I'll put the one check.
Oh, animal.
Stop it, Noel.
Look. See how he gets triggered?
Always.
She just says, "Hi, Charlie. How are you doing?" And
you know what that means. You know what that means. All right, chat or Charlie, come on.
JeanCarlo's gonna.
JeanCarlo.
JeanCarlo.
No worries, Charlie. No worries. Another one. Let's do location. Can we do location? Even though it's right now?
Yeah. See.
How dare you?
I like him. They never want to do locations.
And then the action, man. As a filmmaker, I got my location and action, and now a character, which is an animal. I want my character to be an animal. Is that okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
I like this. All right. So how about a boar weeding on a rooftop?
Wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
No, because it could be like one of these like in the Shire, No, that wouldn't work.
No, it would. See, I hate it when you make.
He just gave you a good.
I hate it when you make sense.
Yeah, I like it. You should just stop.
No, Noel, you're not the only one. Well, maybe you are, but still.
Yeah.
Charlie doesn't get to say.
Charlie doesn't surf. Sorry. Apocalypse Now. Charlie don't surf.
Hey,
that triggered that.
I pick good ones. I pick really good ones, and I think the chat understands how I pick.
All right, chat. How you feel about this? Except Noel. Chat, except Noel. How do you feel about this?
See how she.
Is it still boar weeding rooftop?
So far.
Oh wow.
Carlos is a jerk-a-lot-of-puss. Wow.
Yo.
Wow.
I think he is.
All right, let's keep Rooftop,
Rooftop. Keep Rooftop.
and I'm gonna hit
Get
again.
rid of Poor. Yeah.
Rocking,
Rocking Rooftop.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interpretive. Rocking can mean a lot of things.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
That works. Screenshot it.
Shabam. So no thanks to Noel, what we're going to be drawing is a fox rocking rooftop.
Fox rocking rooftop.
Great job, Will.
Hooray.
Stop it, Charlie. Don't encourage her.
We have a fox rocking a rooftop. I wonder, like, fox was rocking all day long. I don't know.
I like
I get yelled at when I pick one. LOL. No, stop it. Get away.
I guess that's true then. Yes.
Can we talk about
What do you want
people
to talk about?
not liking the ending to different things?
Oh, we gonna get into this because I have.
Are we allowed to? I think we're past the grace period. Spoilers allowed.
That shit's over with.
No, we can talk about so many so
I
Game
wanna
of
talk
Thrones.
about-
Like people are angry with Game of Thrones. People are angry with Sonic the Hedgehog.
I think we need to talk about it because I have a controversial thing, and I think.
What's your controversy?
Well, I think fans won't like my take on it.
On which is it? Game of Thrones or Sonic?
On both.
On both. I want to hear both.
I think this spills over into gaming, spills over into music, spills over into film.
Talk to me.
I think fans need to shut the hell up and to be and then watch what creators create and quit trying to change what creators create because that's not the whole point of it. Like that's like reading a book and being like, oh, and then like putting the email into the author and being like, you need to change the ending of Harry Potter.
Yeah,
it's
You know what, Charlie? I'm gonna and I'm with you 100%, but I'm gonna add to that.
Okay.
How about those? We'll just say fitnessly challenged folks that sit and watch football or baseball or basketball on a lazy boy, and they think that they know how to coach.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same. This is like armchair. Yeah, you go armchair.
Touche.
Agreed. It's the same thing. It's like let's be realistic.
Hey, we got Jack in the
yeah.
chat.
See, Jack.
On,
I knew Jack would rather die. Thanks, Jack. Because like you open up the floodgates, right? So like chat and like the nation, like think about what's happening now, right? This is also happening in gaming, right? A couple years ago, and I was telling this to the guys this week. We were like talking about what we were going to talk about this week, and like I think it's getting worse. I can tie it into Me Too culture too, but I'm gonna hold off on that. It's like mob, like Jack put it to me earlier this week as like mob rule in terms of like creativity, right? Like a hive mind type thing. Like they don't like the Sonic, so everybody goes in uproar. And is it really a big uproar, or is it an uproar on Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah.
And then if it is, now like the powers that be have to react and say, we're going to change it. Do you know how many hours of like work that's going to take to change that character to make him look better or to make him look more iconic? Which,
right.
I think he should have looked like that in the first place, but I'm not going to tell somebody to like change it at this point because I don't know. It's a slippery slope because if you do it here, then every creator has to do it in other places or they have to weather the storm. It's almost like when like the whole thing we talked about earlier this year when Kevin Hart got in trouble and he was supposed to host the Oscars or whatever, and they went in and they ended up through talks releasing him, and he ended up saying, "Cool, I won't do it." And because the backlash was too great, like this whole like I don't know if it's like what do you think, Carlos? Is it the media? Is it like because I think it's partly media and partly like fans, and then like backlash gets crazy, and then all of a sudden like knee-jerk reactions happen and decisions.
And Jack just threw another stick in the fire. He said now they want to change Batman.
Yeah, and the Batman one was like on one of those like either like Cartoon Brew or somewhere like that. and it was like a preview of like they were in talks. Like the guy from Twilight was Robert. Come on, somebody tell me who Robert Pattinson? No, it's not him. Like,
I don't
what's
watch.
the guy? Yeah, the actor, the guy, the sparkle dude from Twilight, the main actor, the heartthrob guy. What's his name?
I forget. Edward was the character, right?
Yeah, whatever his real name is, and he's a grown man now. He's not the same 21 whatever year old dude that played in Twilight. He probably will do a good job, you know. And Jack also said the internet laughed at Heath Ledger casting at one point, right?
Yeah,
you know, people just don't know how people are. People grow up, you know, like it's like when people look at Macaulay Culkin or whoever else and look at him in the same light as what he was when he was a kid. Like people get better in their craft and could surprise you. And like the Heath Ledger that Jack said in the chat is a great example of what an actor can do when they really like
and quite
own their
honestly,
craft.
He was the best Joker hands down,
right,
in history.
I'm excited for Joaquin Phoenix though. I think he's going to kill it.
See,
he's gonna,
and some people didn't like that too, or didn't know if that would be good. But like, you just gotta give the director a chance to show you his vision and go with it. And a lot of times it could suck. It could suck, right? It could really suck, but we don't know that. And I don't want fans like dictating.
Fans shouldn't dictate on the creative process, especially on pre-release and stuff. You know, but
could you? Yeah. Could you imagine like? Even with the Marvel movies or whatever, somebody comes out and they don't really like that person in the movie or don't think they're fit to be in a hero movie and it gets crazy. No, I don't even. It's like a slippery slope. Like things are gonna start happening now. If they really don't let that guy be Batman, like I think that's worse. It's gonna get worse than just a Sonic movie, and we know what a Sonic movie is gonna be at the end of the day. It's not gonna be any Detective Pikachu type shit anyway. It's gonna be the amount of writing in that movie that was kind of like campy and like weird anyway. It's more for kids and preteens anyway. Us adults will go see it because it's Sonic, but like it was never going to be anything that's going to be like, oh my gosh, did you see the Sonic movie last week? It's going to be amazing. I mean, Jim Carrey was a curveball in that movie, and right now Jim Carrey just seems a little crazy to me anymore. So I don't know if he doesn't have the same appeal he did back in the day anyway. So I don't know. Like hive mind when it comes to creativity is scary.
It is scary and it's tough because it's already hard enough to get anything done, you know, in a group setting creatively, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Like it's like JeanCarlo, you were going to say something earlier. I think we were talking about Batman or Joker or something.
Joaquin Phoenix, just how you know, that guy is just one of the best actors I think of our generation, and I think he's really just going to own the role and reinvent it, kind of like Heath Ledger did. You know,
it feels creepy and different. You know, so that should be good.
Yeah, it feels creepy, but it also feels like very real world. You know, just with the trailers that I'm seeing, it feels like just a guy that's in the grind that kind of just tweaks out. You know, from the day to day, feels very relatable.
You remember that movie, Falling Down?
Falling Down, dude, with the Papa Sheen, right?
Yeah.
What is his name? Which Sheen?
Charlie.
Oh no, Papa Sheen.
Yeah.
Not Martin.
Martin Sheen. Yeah.
Was it Martin Sheen?
Love that movie. Always really enjoyed that movie. He's like, I just want this burger. I want this burger to look like. Why doesn't you give me this and it's floppy? I love it. Yeah.
They're like, breakfast was 5 minutes ago. He goes, Michael Douglas is who it was.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, thank you.
He's like, I just want a breakfast. They're like, no, breakfast was 5 minutes ago.
Corey's on the spot. Michael Douglas. I knew he.
Yeah, there he is.
Corey answer.
Yeah. So this new Joker movie is going to be a lot like Falling Down, but with like superheroes in it or super villains. And Joaquin Phoenix, like, bro, he's legit. He's the real deal.
He's the real deal. I mean, he acts with his whole body. You know, he's something else, man.
It's because of him and his computer. I have my phone call me sweetheart.
Really? Oh, from
her.
From her. Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's classy. So I told my phone to call me sweetheart.
Here we go.
He crazy.
He's crazy too.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. Yo, Jack, we talked about this a while ago, and maybe you remember this too, Carlos. Wasn't Joaquin the dude we talked about that like went a year or something as in method acting or something? He went on the Tonight Show or
Everyone thought
somewhere.
he lost his mind.
He basically played a deep character role where he was reinventing himself as a rapper and completely owned it and did tours, did shows, went on to like the Tonight Show, introducing himself to the
Interview
rapper.
with one of those. Yeah, was it? It might have been. I guess it was.
Like a Tonight Show, late show kind of
Yeah,
show.
I think it was Jay Leno. I think it was Jay Leno. But like, and then he just flipped it on everybody and came out with the documentary, and they were like, "Oh,
Here, yeah,
okay, you
One of
got
those-
it."
the balls on that guy. You know?
The best part about it was when he flipped it and dropped the documentary, and everybody was like, "I'm not crazy. You guys are just stupid." I feel like he was saying that without saying it.
Into a pariah. How quickly we can turn our backs on somebody. You know?
Yeah,
Right.
Insane.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Goes to that hive mind thing. Goes to that hive mind group, talk we were just talking about.
right. I just think it's scary, like in with social media and everything now, and how powerful it is as a media tool, and how like one or two people can like write a crazy meme or start a trending like thing on one of the things, and then like by the end of the day, it's a thing. And then the nature of how social media, I call it social media press, and all these like one hit sites, that like are there to repost or reblog the blog sites that are kind of like people act as press sites now. It's like, oh, this is happening on Twitter right now, that like thing pushes this same narrative throughout the day. I think that's how the Sonic thing came, because I've seen that happen before, where it's like, oh, the Sonic thing looks like old school Mario with what you call it, and like next thing you know, it's like by the end of the day, it was like a thing. I still don't know how it became such a big thing. It felt like
so quickly,
like really quickly, like just weird. Like
power of memes, man. It's
I just
new propaganda. It's brilliant, you know.
I wrote it off as a bad movie, and I was like, okay, cool.
You know,
I think the only redeeming quality was like I said, it was like Jim Carrey in it, and I was like, whatever. And then I didn't know it was a thing.
And to go back to the all these online positions, get out of here. But the thing is this, like, you have people who have been trained to do this. Granted, Sonic was ugly. I hated him, but you know what I do? I wait for that to come on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe not support it with your dollars at the theater, but still be open-minded enough.
Right. If it comes on, if it comes on TNT, and for those folks that are around the planet, not in the United States, TNT is a cable channel here, and what they do is they license out movies, and they play a movie like for an entire weekend or whatever. Right? If it's there, I'll watch it just to see. But I'm not going to go to the movies, and that's how you vote. Like, complaining on Twitter is not how you do it. These are trained professionals. It's going back to the sports analogy that I was making earlier. Like, you have a coach who knows the players, who watches the players practice and play, and not just that. You have the players who what players to put in what position, and if there's a lot of pressure, if there's a lot of tension, you know who to put in that spot. You know who's going to excel. Those folks that are watching and I'm guilty of it too. Like, why would you ever put that guy in there, right? I do that, but I'm not going to stop watching the Cubs because Joe Madden put in whoever the hell. That's his job. Let him do his job. If you don't like it, don't watch.
Gotcha.
But sitting there, all this goofiness about online petitions to change the way the ending of Game of Thrones. You know what? They're on a schedule. Yeah. They hired professionals to do that. If you don't like it, technology is at the point where you can make your own damn movie.
It is.
They do that. They do their own.
But
fan
you
press,
know,
too.
you gotta know, you guys know what this is going to turn into, and it's already been like the proof of concept is already out there, and it was a fucking success. And excuse me for cursing, this stuff excites me.
You're fine.
But basically, Bandersnatch, Black Mirror Bandersnatch. Choose your own adventure. Choose your own ending.
Right.
Not only that, the
Right.
first decision you make in Bandersnatch was pick a cereal, Kellogg's or another brand. Do you think advertisers are not going to want that precious information of what people choose? This is insane. So now not only do viewers get to choose their ending, they also get to see what brands they identify with while they're consuming content. And it's going to be this whole other level of things we just haven't seen before. That's going to be, you know, entertainment and content 5.0, especially when 5G is really, the infrastructure is really built, you know, for us to have all this augmented reality things happening and all this, you know, things that I'm personally really excited for. It's just going to honestly just lead to a little bit more data collection for brands to know their audience better while being entertained. And Instagram does a pretty damn good job of it, you know?
And like yeah, the long arm, I heard John Wick is really good, John Wick 3. But like what Jack said, deep fakes, it's here. Carlos, I told you, I want this actor in this setting in this story. Yeah, like this was back when Jack and I both lived in the same area. I remember we were in front of his house, sitting, eating cheese and drinking wine, living that life.
Hey,
that's what we do.
Yes, sir.
It's hard. It's hard to do. That's why not everybody does it. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go.
Here
we go.
Over here, my man. Holler.
So yeah, we're talking about technology taking over movies and stuff. And I mean, this is it. Like, you can choose your own adventure. And Jack blew my mind when he said this. He said, imagine having a movie, let's say The Matrix. But let's say, well, maybe we want to give Will Smith his go at The Matrix since he passed on it. Let's say, and then they're going to have a 3D model of Will Smith playing Neo.
What are video games, yo? Literally, like, what are video games?
Right. Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Spider-Man for PS4 convinced me that we are there now with the model capture, you know, the live acting capture to model kind of stuff, especially with the face capturing. Spider-Man convinced me that we are there now to have feature film quality video games that are so entertaining, so beautifully done, so well.
You should go. You should play God of War.
Ooh, you know, I slept on God of War. Forgive me.
That's the best one out.
Yeah.
You're talking about facial, like
okay.
Your wife would watch that with you.
Yeah,
like,
word. And she does, man. You know, she's out there playing Zelda right now. So
I'm serious. Like, God of War is like a movie.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Well, I have every system just to explore always every title, you know, and I forgive me for sleeping on God of War. You know,
good. Yes.
Yeah. So I got a question, Charlie. Are you a video game designer? I heard you guys while we were doing the setup. Is it rude of me to like what's your background?
I was in. I don't
want to hijack your show.
No, it's good. I was in the video game industry for years, and I still do it. I do VR and AR development now.
Sick.
I've worked at EA and a bunch of other places as an artist. Yeah. Doing environments and stuff like that. Yes.
Cool, man. I love it, man.
Yeah, Long Arm is reminding us that E3 is right around the corner. Yeah, man. Yep. You know what I'm looking forward to?
They're probably gonna release they're probably gonna talk about, you know, PS5 and all that good stuff this year.
Oh, you think it's coming?
Oh, we're due for new consoles. Yeah,
we are due for new consoles. But do you think they're gonna be trickling? What?
I think they'll be coming out either this year or next year. That's what I think.
Huh.
Yeah. I think so.
What I'm looking forward to is when we will be in a movie, but completely in a movie, and the movie is happening around us.
Oh, that's VR, yeah.
So, dude, my last project. Okay, can I tell you about my last project before I moved to the university?
Yes, please.
So you remember how like when you asked for like examples of past work, and I said, oh, I got some other shit I can show you that's like shameful, shit.
Oh god, here we go.
Not porn. Never worked in porn. Proud to say thank you. I'm really
I
blessed.
have, but in front of the camera.
You made it.
But
No, you haven't. Shut up, Carl. I almost let that slide. I was like, no, I can't.
I know, right?
I was doing this VR room, like a virtual reality room, where we had projectors that were projecting from the center of the room all the way out. So it was like 360 video that you could walk into.
Mm-hmm.
And this was for basically like a church kind of client that, it's propaganda for them, but it was a really cool project because it taught me a lot of very interesting things, like how to stitch multiple projectors together to create one cohesive image,
my job. Yeah.
A hyper panorama, this was 360. You walk into this and it's one image, and it's a cool project. I think there is something there where we can do like really cool immersive 360 video experiences. Back in the day at Epcot, I went to go see a 360 video about like flying over Canada, back when I lived in Florida. And this was like in like 2001. And so they probably spent millions shooting it back then. 360. It was they were still shooting film, 35 millimeter film, but they have a really beautiful 360 projection room, and they hardly ever produce content for it. But now that we have these like little $300 Instamax cameras, I took one of those to JC's event in Breckenridge. The footage from that, it's insane. The stabilization and the quality of the 360 image is something else. And that, once again with the leap to 5G, once we can stream 360 video, that's the next thing, and it's so immersive. It's something else.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff I do at work now. I'm in experiential. So like we were just talking about, one of the new things is that's happening is like domes and stuff like that, and projecting on LED domes and stuff like that. And I think it might be at Disney. Disney has, I think it's Disney. Yeah, it might be Disney. Disney has a 360. It's not 360, but it's like a true like half a dome. So it comes out this way all around you. The dome ends back here.
Yeah.
But it's the size of an IMAX theater.
Yeah.
LED dome.
Yeah.
And then the whole theater itself moves. And the dome moves. So then when they fly you over like Alaska or something like that, like the way the chairs are, you feel like you're in it.
Soaring. This is the soaring over presentation. Yeah. They have soaring over California and then soaring over other places, right?
Yeah, so it's a LED. It's like half of a LED, like dome type of deal.
Gotcha.
Like crazy
Dome, no projection.
So LED, yeah, no projection. Yeah, it's crazy. Like the amount of like tech I've learned now about LEDs.
I love it, man.
Ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous because like the projection is cool. You get the really cool projectors and stuff, and they're paying to work at. But like LED dome.
It's easier than projection. Once you rig it,
it's screen, it's clear.
It's a screen, so it's video input. I mean, it's rigging LED panels is a pain in the ass, though, dude. I've done it. I've done the big ones, in concerts, dude. It's so dangerous.
We have a floor to ceiling LED wall at work, and like it's too bright. It's great to be like on the side of a building, but we have it inside.
Oh, really?
So when we turn it up,
y'all are rich, man. You're spoiled. You say, this LED panel is too bright, too expensive.
No, we turn it up. You know how you see in the cartoons where there's like bright light? Like I've turned that mug all the way up on people, and they're like, "Charlie, you're gonna blind somebody." I'm just saying it's not supposed to be in here, but we have it here. And then you like where you stand across the room in order to get like to actually understand what's on the screen because it's so bright. You can see that all the way up Lake Street, Carlos.
Technology.
And now you have the windows open.
800 lumens. This is like $50. I mean, stuff is just getting insane.
Yeah.
This will blind you, like
like alpha bright, like crazy.
It's something else.
JeanCarlo and I were talking about when we first met, and just to let everyone know, basically the way we met, JeanCarlo met with one of my friends that lives here in Sonoma, and they were getting together to do some video work. And so JC, shout out to JC. He may or may not listen. I don't know.
Hey, man.
He's busy Greeking. He's busy Greeking right now. But
it's true. He's in Santorini.
So then JC called me up and was like, yo, I got a guy you need to meet, come over. So I ran over real quick and JeanCarlo was there. He had some equipment and stuff, and we were just talking geeky camera stuff.
You got nerdy real quick.
Yeah. And yeah, and that's just it. Like with that little handheld light thing that you were showing, and like, but for me, when I'm doing artist al fresco, my challenge to myself is I'm making these films with whatever fits in my backpack. So like a tripod hangs on the backpack. I have a couple GoPros, my phone, my drone, and that's it. If it doesn't fit in that bag, I keep pushing, and it just like that's the fun of it for me, is being able to go somewhere. And technology is just there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the whole, I just want to mention about your artist al fresco, concept that you're, doing. I love how classic the idea is, just going out, painting, working out outdoors, but bringing that modern element to record it, or even now live stream it directly from your phone, whatever.
Right.
That's just the fun juxtaposition of what's fundamentally so classic, so artistic, been done for 800 years, that same thing, and then just adding that modern element to me is very sexy. I love that,
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
What kind of work are you doing right now?
Currently, well, not only do I just do filmmaking, but I'm currently getting ready for a big recording session in Jacksonville, Florida, that I'm going to be flying out to this Sunday.
That's right. You have a history in the arts of the what they call hip hop
and jazz. That's right. So I've been working with gosh, man, I went to this art school, out in Florida, and a lot of those guys, we all are doing our careers. It's called Douglas Anderson School of the Arts, and in Jacksonville, Florida, and it's an incredible school. And a lot of the students that graduated from there are doing really cool shit. And basically, we're meeting again to do a recording session. My friend Benjamin Shorstein, incredible drummer, incredible composer, incredible pianist, even. He's basically composed a whole suite of music we're doing 2 sessions. One of them is going to be a jazz octet, and then the other one's going to be a piano operatic singer duo. And long story short, I was going to go just to film it, at create content for the channel. Because, along with doing all the content I'm doing for JC also kind of tasked me with, he's like, JeanCarlo, now you got to put yourself out there, create your own channel, let people know who you are. And I'm like, shit, man, I've never done that, but this is my first podcast. Here we are. Right. So basically putting myself out there, like, as what I actually do for a living, not, being the rapper or how I used to be,
Yeah.
So now I'm going out to do the session. Long story short is that the original guy that we were going to use, turns out he went in for like this gallbladder thing. He's a great engineer. Really, really wishing the best for him. Turns out now he needs an emergency heart transplant.
Oh no.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's terrible. It's really terrible. We all love working with him. Mo, really best wishes for Mo. Mwah, and so now my buddy Ben called me frantically. We've been recording together since we were 15. I used to show up with the equipment back when I was 15, that I would either borrow from school or rent from a friend of mine and pay him, with whatever little $20 I had as a kid. And we would show up. Back then we would use a CD recorder. We had like an 8-channel Mackie mixer that would go into a Marantz CD recorder. It was actually a really nice setup, and we did a lot of shit with that. And so Ben calls me, really where he's like, dude, Mo, he's not doing good, turns out, yada, yada. Can you help me with the session? I'm like, dude, we'll take care of it. So in the last couple of days, I've been gearing up, purchasing a lot of equipment. Some of my stuff just came in today.
I love show and tell.
Yeah. Bam. Built this rack today.
Yo.
You going in, huh?
Basically,
Are you taking that to Florida with you?
This to Florida. This is.
Are you driving or are you flying?
I'm flying. This is a flight case. This is my new mobile rig.
Just put the case on top and then you check it.
That's right. That thing is about as big as a car trunk.
I'm gonna
this is my mobile rig
on it. but that's, you know, going to be our AD conversion for the session and just doing the thing. So that's like the latest project that kind of came in last minute, but I'm going to help them and try to save the day with that. You know, I kind of went a lot of places with it, but that I'm really excited because you know, there's going to be some really good players there. We're going to record. What I love about working with Ben is that it's always art for the sake of art.
Yeah.
You know, and anytime he calls me for a project, I'm always like, I'm there, you know, because it's just pure creation. And I just think we're so blessed that we can kind of add that to our schedules and take the time off to do it, you know. So
That's awesome.
yeah. And then other than that, man, I've just been doing a ton of videos, the day job stuff, you know, which actually I quit the day job because now I'm now working for myself full time, starting my company. Thank you very much. So
let's talk about that. Like, well, first question, why? Why are you crazy?
Why am I crazy, right? Well, you know, it all started with, you know, JC saying, what do we got to do to have you start your company, JeanCarlo? And
you got to be careful with him, man. He gets you into some stuff.
Yeah. And you know what? You know, I'm just always the one that's down to get into some stuff, you know, and I accepted the challenge. And basically I was moonlighting a lot of his content while I was at my day job. And after I coordinated his event in Breckenridge for him, I that was kind of like the proving of me proving to him that I can like really do the shit that I told him I could do, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of changed everything, man. So and another thing that changed everything was working for National University, doing their commercials. You know, working with the leadership there at that marketing department, they internalized their agency. And working with that team, they gave us so much creative runway and freedom that it really also helped launch to where I'm at now. You know what I mean? I grew out of that quickly and started my own company, and now they're sending me freelance work. It's really great, you know?
Oh my God. That's wonderful.
It's kind of the dream is happening right now. So I'm glad you invited me to be on the show because I'm right now like operating in peak JeanCarlo. Like it's cooking, you know?
You're leveling up.
I'm loving it, Charlie. I'm loving it.
Yeah, leveling up before our eyes. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you know. And now, you know, just trying to, you know, educate myself on French wine, you know, Carlos.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, which is another thing that JC is well known for is turning people into winos.
that's I gotta keep up.
Have you talked to him since he took his wine sniffing class?
Yeah.
Thing?
Are you talking about his French wine scholar?
I think that's what it was.
You know, I don't think he passed the blind taste test, but he didn't pass something else.
Yeah.
You know? I think like he passed the harder portion of it, you know, and like I don't know.
I asked him, hey, how'd your class go? He goes, pretty good. I go, what'd you learn? He goes, that I can't smell anything.
I love that. Yeah. So other than that, man, a couple other projects. I'm going to be recording a band called the Wild Wild Wets. Did a music video with them a few weeks ago. The guys and I have really been like bonding, and I'm going to produce their next album. We're going to be working with, it's going to be cool. I'm really excited for this project. We just locked in the studio July, the week of the 9th. You know, we're going to be at this. I was almost going to say it's kind of a private studio, but it's this dope studio here in San Diego. I'll send you guys photos. And
photos, send me an invitation.
Hey, come on down. And then we shot that music video for them. They're called the Wild Wild Wets. We're sitting on that video until we record this next album. Basically, I do these videos. Maybe I'll post a link to one that I did for another band, if that's cool. You know?
Yeah, go for it.
And basically, they saw this video and liked it so much that they contacted the band and they're like, "Hey, who directed that? Can he do one for us?" And it's the band anyways, and we all kind of knew each other, but they didn't know that I did the video, so that was just fun. And they do this other band I'm going to be recording. They do really cool work. It's kind of like a psychedelic surf rock, very California vibe, you know, but they have a classic look.
Yeah.
So basically the video I'm going to post down there. I did something like this for this other band, but this video is a different band. This is the Liquor Smiths, and they're great. They're fun, kind of an Americana.
Yeah.
What about this? It's like I do a lot of documentary work primarily. I don't know if you guys know them. And so I always look for that authenticity. You might see with some of the work I'm doing with JC, I'm always looking for that authenticity. I don't mind a shaky camera. I don't mind the grit, you know.
Right.
But I also love very high polished stuff too. But for this, it's kind of like, you know, a peek in on being a fly on the wall until the song starts. Then it's basically, I'm calling these like my little version of a Tiny Desk concert. Then we do like a one shot, one take. Everybody's playing live. It's being recorded live, but we do it with state of the art equipment, so it sounds really good, you know. And then, you know, because I got a little DSLR on a DJI Ronin gimbal, you know,
Nice.
we're getting in there. We're getting in there, and it's a lot of fun. So the link that I posted, my buddy Matt Tolk, my partner in my business, he 3-time Emmy award-winning director of photography. He shot this one.
Nice.
He's a G. He's my guy. He's a visual storyteller, man.
Mhm.
But so yeah, man, just trying to do a lot of music stuff.
You better tell him that there's people out here filling out petitions and stuff. They don't like the way music videos are ending.
That's right. That's right. You know, that guy has a hard enough time, you know, already, you know, he's a professional creative too. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so I'm doing a lot of music stuff and video stuff, and always just trying to figure out how I can do that with it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so
let's talk about your relationship with these bands. Because I was on someone else's podcast last week, and we were talking about one of the things that I've learned from this podcast, from doing this podcast. And one of the first lessons that always pops in my head is back where we talked to this guy, Jordan Koch, and he said, if you want to fish, you have to go to the pond. So basically you have to put yourself in position to kind of like you were in a place where these bands were able to find you. Can you talk about the importance of that?
You know, for me, man, I'm always, how do they find you? You know, it's interesting because sometimes it's just happenstance, and sometimes it is just putting yourself out there. But the way I put myself out there is by going out to meet people, you know. And I'm just always so interested in finding out what people are doing. That's how I find my projects. I literally, I meet somebody and they tell me, you know, their day job. I'm like, well, but what do you do? Like, you know, what inspires you? You know, and then you find out that, oh, so-and-so does this, but you know what? They know somebody else that does this. And next thing you know, something's happening, something's cooking, and it's going to turn into a project. And that's literally how all my best clients and all my coolest projects have ever come about, is somewhat happenstance. Yeah, I do a lot of cool like commercial work, but all the stuff that I really love. And there's so many people out there that do so much cooler work than I do, that I still aspire to, that I look forward to doing, you know, that I'm just happy to be able to do what I do and make a comfortable living doing it. But you know, I'm not afraid of going out to a bar to meet some people, or going to a side of town that I've never been to meet some people and see what's cooking over there, just to literally meet people.
That's good.
Right. You know? And I think unfortunately for a lot of creative people is they think that the word networking or the action of networking is a bad word, and it's kind of shady, and it's, you know, here I'm going to make fun of some salespeople and folks like that, but Yeah, there are some shady networking folks,
For sure.
but like if there's it, for example, in a couple weeks, we Jack and I, well, Sketch Zone has a table at this animation festival, and it's places like that where you go specifically to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone is there to meet people.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is walk up and say, "Hi, I draw too."
Mm-hmm.
Right, basically, yeah.
Because
Or-
everyone there is there for the same reason. And I always say this, they speak the same language, and it's not, English, French, that type of language. They use the same terminology. Like if you say follow through animation or this scene or whatever, you use Photoshop or Sketchbook. Right?
Compositing, frame by frame. Yeah.
Compositing. They know all that stuff. Whereas if you go to some random target and you say, "Hey, I feel like compositing a green screen, and then I'm going to drop that," people's eyes are going to glass over.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that a lot because, as a gear nerd, I'm always talking stuff, and sometimes I forget my audience. When I get excited about projects, I get nerdy real quick. So.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's easy to do that when you're talking about what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a tendency to be able to read people pretty good.
Yeah.
And when I give you a little bit, and if you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah," I give you a little bit more. And then if it looks like you comprehend what I'm saying, I go deep.
Right.
That you could read it in the eyes. Yeah, the engagement.
Whereas if you say, "Oh yeah, I make animation." "Oh yeah, really? Oh cool. Oh yeah, okay." So then I'm going to composite this animation on this, and then they start fading away and they start
right.
like
Oh, no.
passing out. You're like, "Oh, okay. Cartoons, yeah, I draw."
Yeah. Funny voices. Hey, we do it.
And like anything else, it's a skill set that you have to exercise, right? You have to get over it, get out of your own way, and like these networking things allow you to be able to do what Carl says: go, "Hey, I draw." Like,
right.
Any type of like interaction or like icebreaker is cool,
And there's a lot of value to going to those conferences. I'm learning now. I'm getting a lot of value out of it. In networking, a lot of times, I'll learn some stuff from the speakers. Always, they're always going to teach you a handy trick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just it's the stuff in between, man. It's when you're waiting in line to get that piece of broccoli to dip in that ranch, you know what I mean, and that little buffet line or something like that. When you're talking to somebody and you're like, "Oh my God, you're so and so," or you don't know who they are, but they're trying to do something that you are also trying to do, and it turns into a beautiful relationship.
Right.
That happens all the time, and it's just so important. Now I'm really seeing that, and I'm just really trying more to put myself out there and do the damn thing and make cool stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that, I mean, now that I have my own company and I'm able to, most of the time, if and when I have downtime, what I do is I come up with an exercise for myself. And that's why if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see Carlos's cartoon karaoke. You see Artists Al Fresco. You see the pep talks. You see the tutorials. You see all that stuff. I try to take advantage of the situation that we're in. Like and I always say this, there's never been a cooler time in history to be an artist and to be seen and to create things. Reach out and hang out with someone that you kind of does the same thing and make something cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hands down.
All this garbage about, "Hey, do this logo for me. It's going to be great for exposure." You know what's great for exposure? Instagram and YouTube.
That's right. That's right, man. That's awakening. And then it just fires me up hearing you say that more, it gets me more excited. God, let's talk about that. Hey, all this free work that I had to do as a kid, wow, man.
Right.
I was such a dummy.
Right.
you know, and just
Right.
and take
But it
it.
was a different time.
And I graduated. Well, I graduated. I graduated high school right in 2008, right in the midst of the financial crisis,
Mhm.
and
Ooh.
nobody wanted to spend money on anything creative. And I was this young guy coming out of school that just was so hungry and wanted to do so much stuff. And man, I was being taken advantage of so much, man. It's insane. I think a lot of the new generation of creatives and are getting really wise to it. So yeah.
And I think that the cool thing about the younger generations, because when I was coming up, I mean, we were legit still cutting and pasting paper and doing that damn thing. But
Oh,
like this generation, it's or the generation that's getting into the workforce now, they're starting to understand that you can do your own thing. And that's why if you go to YouTube, like everybody and their mother has a traveling video
mhm.
Yeah.
series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you mean to tell me I went to school and I did all this stuff and quite honestly, you don't even need to go to school anymore. But moving on, there's a bunch of parents are just like, what the hell?
Yeah. Until they have to pay that bill.
But I mean, again, technology is there and you can do your own thing. And it's cool to see these kids be like, so wait, I'm going to put in all this work and then I'm going to come and work for you
Mhm.
for 80, 90, 100 hours a week. And you're going to give me my little stipend. And at the end of the day, you keep the project because it's yours. I just work for you.
Right.
Right. Meanwhile, again, these kids, they see that and they're like, I don't want to do that. That's why they're hesitating to get into the workforce. One, there's just no work. Two, they're not paying people enough.
Mhm.
And three, why work for someone else when you could do it for yourself?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the outlet is there. If you don't like YouTube, there's Vimeo. If there's not Vimeo, there's IGTV. There's so many things out there.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
So, hi.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Okay, like you popped up again. I was like, wait, what?
I was like,
Yeah. No, there's
somebody else.
JeanCarlo's so good. There's
so
two
much
of him.
out there, and it's never been easier, never been better. And
Yeah.
you know, a big thing that I do with all my clients is I teach them how to do it themselves. You know,
Yeah.
because me as the kind of little, I don't consider myself a marketing guy. I consider myself more of a production dude. You know, like what's your idea? Let's make your vision come to life. You know, and so I always. But because I do know how to kind of do it all, I like to teach people how to do it themselves, or at least answer their questions.
Right.
And I see a lot of value in that, and clients like it, and not only that, it helps me bond with them. It's really fun. It's really important, and
and that's my approach too. Like when I do like kickoff meetings and stuff with people, I'm like, look, I'm trying to help you pull the idea out of your brain. But it's your idea. I'm just trying to pull it out.
Yeah.
And I want you to feel like I'm part of your team.
Yeah.
And this is a communication thing.
Totally.
Like if I wanted to work on your logo for myself, that's a completely different thing. I don't know if people want to pay that budget.
Yeah.
So I'm in complete agreement with you there. Like just building that relationship, because again, those relationships are what makes more work happen.
Yeah, it's relationship building, friendship gardening. That's what I like to call it. Because ultimately, I try to pick my clients like that. I'm not out there looking to shoot a video for a dentist or anything like that. You become my friend first, and then we'll see if we can work together. Yeah.
When you're working on these music videos and even videos for dentists and stuff, is your work process, do you go through like brainstorming and then storyboards and then you go into shooting the video? Or do you shoot the video and then
it depends on the project, right now, just and I hate to say it like this, but because being authentic is so trendy, it's a lot of things are going docu style, documentary mini doc style. Now when I have to do something that's very polished, or scripted, storyboarded. If it's scripted, it's storyboarded. If there's no script, it's not storyboarded. That's kind of the delineation in that process. But yeah, even like a very simple commercial, a 30-second commercial. Like we were out there, I don't know, 8 weeks ago in Seattle shooting for City University of Seattle. And even though we're like shooting people, grabbing a cup of coffee, walking out, that was all storyboarded to the script. And we planned out the shots, even though we're trying to make it look as authentic as we can. So yeah, I do both. But really that line is drawn nowadays for the projects. Back in the day, I would storyboard everything, but now I just kind of let the unknown magic happen when we're doing documentary stuff, and just let that kind of dictate where that project might head.
So you give yourself a little leeway, a little freedom.
I have to give myself a lot of leeway, and because I know as I grow and as I work with brands that are more mature, I'm going to lose that. That's going to go out of the window. So I'm going to enjoy it now while I still can.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth to that. The way I see it is, if you are a client that is so prepared that you have a script written, you're probably expecting storyboards.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If they're coming to you,
you've done this before.
Yeah, totally. And that's
your
nice
first time.
Sometimes. That's nice. That makes sometimes the job easier, but then it can make the expectations harder. Right. Yeah. Makes the prep a little easier, but man, managing those expectations, it gets difficult. So
yeah. So let's talk about, did you grow up in Florida?
Yeah, I grew up there, but I grew up many places. I was actually born in Oslo, Norway. And that's because my sister was born in Milan. My dad back in the 80s, 90s, was a creative director. He did a lot of advertising for a lot of big brands. And so it was his task back when McCann Erickson was globalizing, kind of getting bigger. I think this is kind of what he was doing, was basically going out and creating a local version of a creative agency, creative studio to work on the brands locally, So they had, he was tasked, to go to Milan, Toronto, Puerto Rico, where we're from, Oslo, Norway, Dublin, Ireland. So I was born in Oslo, Norway. And then when I was 9 months, we moved to Dublin, Ireland, where we grew up until I was 6, where my first language was English with a thick Irish accent. So then when we moved to Puerto Rico, where I was going to start in kindergarten, I had a very thick Irish accent, and there was only 2 schools on the island of Puerto Rico at the time that had like full-time English curriculum, and they were private schools.
And you walked in and the teacher was like, "Deja de joder."
Yeah, they're like, "Yo, I speak English, and this kid, I don't understand this kid's English, man." I remember I was playing in the sandbox in kindergarten. I'm like, "Hey, pass me the spade," and the kid's like, "What?" I'm like, "Pass me that." I'm like, "That's a shovel." I'm like, "Oh, fuck you, man," Or once I cut myself with scissors, and I'm like, I need a plaster, and they're like, "Oh, what? A plaster?" And I show them my little cut, and they're like, "Oh, a Band-Aid. You need a Band-Aid." I'm like, "What the fuck's a Band-Aid?"
I mean, hey, and to be truthful, Band-Aid is the brand, so they were incorrect too.
That's an American thing, man. When I moved over, like people calling a copy a Xerox, that's a purely American thing. Where the brand can take over what
it is. Yeah.
People
Kleenex.
Yeah, people don't do that in other parts of the world. Or they do. They would be like, "Hey, give me a shot of Ouzo." All right, whatever. But it's just interesting, but that kind of being a fish out of water so many times as a kid, you know. So then from Dublin, Ireland, like I said, we went to Puerto Rico. Parents got divorced in Puerto Rico. Mom had a little bit of Florida family in Florida. So we went over to Jacksonville, Florida, home of Limp Bizkit and Yellow Card. And what else? The Jacksonville Jaguars, you know, that new saying, Duval.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, hey, don't hate, you know.
I mean, you won at Limp Biscuit. You win. You win.
We're in, man, you know.
Man, I was like,
And then it was Jacksonville where I spent a lot of my formative years, man. So I was there from when I was, 10, 11 to till I was 19, 20. I think I left at 20, and that's when I moved to LA.
Oh,
wow. But my time in Jacksonville, because of that art school, I mean, not even that art school, man. I went to Abbas Park Elementary School. My childhood's very important to me. I know all the names of all my teachers. I remember them all. I'm friends with some of them on Facebook.
Pretty impressed. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in Jacksonville, Florida, I did a presentation on emus. I was in 4th grade, and I went to Abbas Park Elementary School. And I did this very professional presentation that I rehearsed with my mom on emus, and
was that one of those situations where you wore a tie and everything?
I probably had a button up, and it was probably a long sleeve button up too, And
Jacksonville is not cold.
With khakis.
It gets cold. You'd be surprised it gets cold. But so then another teacher, the art teacher, Miss Perez, saw my presentation and then talked to some other teachers because she was a part of this thing called APNN, the Abbas Park News Network. And straight up, I was in this little elementary school in Jacksonville, Florida. They had like a really nice TV studio, and they did live broadcasting every single day that school was in session to tell the announcements. But it was live to television and on a local network, and that's where I learned how to like direct and floor manage and run sound, the faders, and do graphic overlays on like all live. And it was all run by students, So I was the first. It was only for 5th graders though. 5th grade, like in elementary school, I learned in the States was like when you could be a patrol.
Wait, 5th grade? Wow.
Yeah. This was in 4th grade. I was the first 4th grader to be a part of that.
Whoa.
And then so I got the privilege of doing that for 2 years, which was really cool. Doing all this live, broadcast stuff every day, cameras. We had nice cameras. We had nice tripods. And then I kind of took a break because I didn't go to the art middle school, but then I auditioned to get into the art high school, where what's funny is I didn't know they had a film department. I was really into sculpture throughout middle school, made a lot of sculptures. So when I was auditioning to get into the Douglas Anderson School, I made a video of my sculptures, where I used to have like the first thing I ever saved up for was 2 Newmark turntables, an audio mixer so I could scratch, and that was in 6th grade. I got that in 6th grade, the DJ in a box, and
a little bundle, yeah,
you remember, and so I made like a little video where I'm like, hey guys, I'm JeanCarlo Mendez and I want to be a sculptor at your school. And I made this cool little video where I'm scratching.
I watch Ghost.
And I got like
see them.
Terrible sculptures. They weren't good. My clay work wasn't good, but my like found, metal sculptures were cooler. Anyways, it was still terrible. But I made this cool little video. And then the art teacher was like, hey man, you should audition for the film department. I'm like, wait, there's a film department here? And I'm like, all right, I'm out of here, man. So then I went back, created a little short film. I found out what I had to do to audition for the film department. I had to write a little short film. And my art teacher helped me with writing the short film. She gave me the idea. She's like, oh, just do it like on this nerdy guy that can't get girls. And what he does to get girls is he reads romance novels and then like he does like things like that to get the girls. I'm like, oh, you know, that's not bad. I'll do that.
Wait, is that a thing?
I don't know. It was my art teacher's idea. I thought it was a good idea. and we filmed that into a little shitty middle school short film, and that's what got me into that high school. That's what changed my life back then, you know, and put me on the path to where I am now. And once my teachers started hiring me to shoot like some of their projects as well, I'm like, you know, maybe I'll be able to do this. Maybe this will work, you know. So, and here we are. I was just working for university, you know, on the DL, you know, I haven't been to college, you know, and here I am working for universities and stuff. So it's been pretty cool.
And that's kind of my point. Like the way things are now, I wouldn't, let me say it like this. I wouldn't hire you to fix my kidney, but I would definitely hire you to make a film.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like, yeah, especially when I was in college, computers were still hella expensive. Software was ridiculous. So the way I saw it was I was paying rent to use their software and their hardware. Now everything is affordable.
Yeah.
Right. And you have people that are living at home at 30, 35.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't you making films?
That's right. That's right. I was just interviewing a really cool kid today, Nick. I met him. We were on a little set for a short film, and he was hungry, man. He just graduated film school, and I really liked his energy. And I'm like, dude, if you want some edits, I'll kick some stuff your way, man. And he came over today and saw the edit bay, you know, and just really lit up, man. And he's like, dude, this right here is like goals. And I'm like, number one, nobody's ever said that to me, so I'm flattered as all hell. And then legit, man, the guy does good work, so I'm happy to give him a chance, you know. And I think he's gonna. Dude, I had this old.
He's gonna kill it. Yeah.
I think he's gonna kill it. I had this drone here, you know. And I was like, hey man, you know, I bought this drone. This was my first drone, practice drone. It was still like a nice medium grade one, you know, and it wasn't cheap, but now it's devalued so much. It's worth like $200, you know. It wasn't a DJI one. It was an off-brand one, but it was a very nice one. It's got the GPS, the return to home functionality. I mean, it's in all levels very legit. And I'm like, here, take it home, go nuts, learn. And dude, he just freaked out, you know. And now, dude, I think we are going to work on some cool stuff together, you know, because you got to give people the chance, man, you know, because people gave me that chance, and that's what it's all about. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you, and this is just me, it has really nothing to do with anything, but have you been seeing the Autel Evos?
Hotel
the what?
Autel, AUTEL, Autel Evo, EVO.
Oh no, I haven't. Is it a first person drone? I'm into this.
It's just like the Mavic 2 Pro, but you can shoot 60 frames a second at 4K.
Man, really?
Wow. It's
$1,000.
And it's $1,000. So let's talk about that for a second, because DJI has been walking around, and the reason why you see DJI all over the place is because they keep undercutting people.
Yeah.
So it's a Chinese company.
Yeah.
They work the factories to death, and because of that, they can come in super cheap, but with really good quality.
Right.
And so they basically own that whole drone industry. But now Autel, they're coming in and playing the DJI game.
They're DJIing DJI. I love it.
Yeah.
This thing is it's very pretty.
Yeah.
And it's only
very, you know, very orange.
It's very orange, but you know what? Have you lost your drone, my friend, out in the field? It's a bummer.
Field. Field is easy. Have you
don't
ever
open-
lost one in the ocean?
Don't open that wound.
Ooh,
Don't
no,
do
I
it.
haven't. I haven't.
Don't do it. And watch it fall. Just watch it like slowly lower
Yeah.
itself into the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to
watery
artistalfresco.com and click on the Hawaii video. That's
Really?
the one that's the one that my drone ended up in the middle of the ocean on that trip.
I think every industry and everything needs to be disrupted always.
Right.
You know,
Right.
That's my capitalist coming out. You know, that's as capitalist
Right.
as I got right there.
Right.
But everything needs to be disrupted, man, because it's an equator, you know, or not like an earth. It's an equalizer, is what I meant
Right.
to say.
Right.
It makes everybody check themselves, you know, and it's good. It's important right now. Talking about disruption and industries getting disrupted. Working for National University was so cool, man, because those guys love to disrupt their own industry. They're always trying to offer classes to people cheaper and make it more accessible. And I'm like, man, that's the kind of leadership that all companies need, man. You know?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right, yeah.
always check yourself.
Let me tell you,
before you wreck yourself.
Let me tell you, I went for a couple of job interviews at some of the colleges out here, and I almost said the name, but I'm not going to because just in case.
Good job.
But I mean, I've gotten so far as to they've invited me in to do a mock class, and I'll teach something in Photoshop or video editing or something like that, and I just don't seem to, I guess, be good enough to get the teaching job. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see. You guys want me to disrupt this, so youtube.com/coconut justice. We're disrupting stuff. I'm teaching you guys everything
Directly.
that I know.
Direct to source, man.
That's it.
Get plugged in.
That's it. Because I keep saying this. I wanted to be that good guy. I wanted to go to my 9 to 5. I wanted to have that job, but you guys don't let me. So okay,
dude, I say the same thing. I love that. I love what you just said, because I'm always like, dude, I'm trying to navigate society through the rules and the walls that you guys have built around me, you know. But here we are. It's like, it just, there's something that ain't working, and something's got to give. And you know what, man? I'll tell you what. I'll show you a photo of myself from just years ago, man. Dude, I was 100 pounds heavier, and I was the one that was always being held back. I was the one that was giving. I was the one that was giving to fall within that. And man, dude, I used to be addicted to fucking cocaine. I mean, it got dark for a while, man. I was really,
trying to find yourself.
But yeah, I had to find myself, man, you know? And but here we are on the other side where it's like, now, just because, and it's because, you go to a couple of conferences and you get inspired, like, from artists that are working, right? And they tell you, man, just chase that childhood feeling. If it's something that inspires you, chase that. And once I really started to do that, that's when everything really started changing, man. And then I felt like how I always used to feel, like, very, like, we can do this. And we, and here we are again, and now to where things are back in place, man. But dude, when I was working out here, the job that brought me down to San Diego was really a tough I loved what I was doing. I was editing video, but I really disliked who I was working for. I really disliked the content I was creating. The only reason I was there is because it was a stable job that offered me, lots of stability and security and all that, which, granted, I needed. I was dealing with a lot of hardship. My parents have, dude, since 2008, both of my parents, and I mentioned earlier, they're divorced. Their whole lives have gone to shambles, man. Both of them independently, to where I had to kind of really step up and help them, so I needed that security. But dude, I was miserable. I was depressed and overweight, and I thought I was going to die of a heart attack, and I just turned 29, man. Like,
nice.
So dude, I'm just like, I'm not going to let that happen again, and I'm just going to really grab life by the horns and not let go, and just be who I was always kind of meant to be, which is here we are, And
is it easy? No. Is it scary? No. Definitely.
Yeah.
But you have to have confidence in yourself, and it doesn't help to have, some stacks in the bank. Let's, I mean, be real.
Be real about that. Absolutely.
But the thing is, and this goes out to some of the younger folks that are setting sail.
Okay.
Don't get wrapped up in this, oh, I need the latest and greatest computer stuff that happens. Don't do that. You have to approach your career and your independent projects the same way corporations do. They give their workers what they need to get the job done, no more, no less. You might work with a cool company that's like, yo, this is a computer that's just stacked. Go to work. Those are like finding a unicorn.
Yeah, I want those.
But like if you, for example, if you have one of those Wacom Intuos that you draw on the table, but you look up here and it works, work that until you can have the Cintiq, right?
Yeah.
But as much as you can, pay cash, because what happens is if you have some stacks stashed away in the bank and you do decide to go independent, there's no greater feeling than not having to worry about money for the next 6 months.
You're right. You're right. Totally.
Whereas
it gives you the courage, you know?
Yeah. It's just one less thing that you have to worry about.
Absolutely. But everybody, man, not everybody, but most of America, the one, all of us that have been stuck there, we're 2 paychecks away from financial ruin, right?
Yeah. And that the majority of Americans.
Yes, man.
The majority. It's an incredible number. Like 80, I think they said 80% of Americans cannot afford a $400 surprise.
I just had one. My wife's car took a shit, and we just had to do that whole $400 surprise. But I'm really proud to say that, all the startup costs, that it took for me to get my studio where it is right now, I've done debt free. I've actually, the only time I ever had to get a credit card was when I basically had to pay medical bills for tearing my ACL. And it was at a time when I didn't have health insurance. I was new at that job that brought me down to San Diego. I was 22, 23, slipped on some water at a concert, and was going, it had, my leg went sideways. I heard the pop in my head, went ACL. And then they're like, "Oh, this is going to cost thousands." I'm like, "Oh shit, really?"
That bill.
And they're like, "Yeah, man, your shit's really fucked up." I'm like, "Okay, so what do I need?" And I'm like, "Well, right now you need to pay $600 for this MRI." I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't have that. What should I do?" My mom didn't have any money. My dad didn't have any money. They're like, "Oh, well, you should get a credit card." I'm like, "Credit card?" Every time I've tried to get a credit card, all the credit companies tell me I can't, because I have no credit. And then they asked me to have my parents co-sign, and then my parents couldn't co-sign because their credit was so bad, And I'm like, "Oh, so, but then they're like, "Oh no, you'll be able to get a credit card." I'm like, "How?" I'm like, because the hospital hooked it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm like, dude, the industry. It's like I was never. So that was how I got my
because and this is how that works out, because it's the game. It's the game. The hospital. The hospital isn't going to leave you. The rules are the hospital has to treat you no matter what, if you can afford it or not. So what they're going to do is you're damn sure going to get credit because they want you to pay for it. Otherwise, they have to go to the government. And let me tell you, this is why, and this whole healthcare debate, this is why we need it, because we pay for it anyway.
Right.
So you have a bunch of people. You have a bunch of people that go to the hospital. They can't afford it. They get treated. Then they leave, and they don't pay the bill. So then the hospitals go to the government, and the government helps pay those bills. That's why it blows my mind and I know that that's hella political, la la la, and I'm sorry for that, but we're paying for it anyway.
Yeah.
And what's that called? What is that called?
Affordable healthcare, Obamacare.
Or do you mean
Okay.
the S word? Are you saying you're talking about the evil S word?
Yeah.
What, socialism?
Ah! Oh my God! Oh no! Whoa!
Did I
Watch
I go
out!
down? No, and that's just it. It's not. It's
all
not
propaganda. It's all propaganda.
Right.
We're fed to be
Right.
afraid of shit. You know, that's
right. And
you
it's
know,
not.
I was born. You know,
the thing
so
is this,
a
we're
story my
paying
dad.
for it
Right.
anyway. You know why? Oh,
A
we'll
story
change
my
it
dad
to-
would always tell me when we moved out of
You're
Norway.
basically saying regardless, you're paying for it. So why
Right.
not?
Yeah.
right.
So check this out.
And
So
if
when
anything,
my
without
parents,
healthcare, it costs more. Anyway, go ahead.
no, you're wrong. So I love this story because it just shows you the difference, you know, because our internal revenue system is just, God, so archaic. I can't wait to overhaul that shit. That is one of my goals. Anyways, so when my family left Norway, months later, they received a check in the mail, and it was a fat check for services that they had not cashed in on being a citizen. The government paid them back and gave them a refund.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, for
not
because they
using
moved
healthcare.
at this time. Exactly.
Talk about motivation.
Talk
Yeah.
about how
Just
civilized is that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It
How
was
on
in the
top of it.
90s.
Talk
It
about
was in the 90s.
motivation. Talk about motivation to live a healthy life. Hey, everyone's going to pay in on this affordable healthcare program, but if you don't use it, we're going to cut you a check. Here you go. But unfortunately, we can see that because look at what's happening with Social Security.
Well, it's the insurance, man. It's all this is. Insurance is it's a mob game, man. You know,
Right.
It's that's what it is.
But the thing is, it's lazy people like you that are taking advantage of the system, and you're just trying to get your knee fixed for free because you're a dirty socialist.
Yeah, that's right.
Yo.
Hey, man, I just want my knee fixed.
Yo,
so I can
the
walk
whole
again.
time when he was making his statement, I was like, man, this is getting harsh.
I love. Hey, I am. Hey, well, yeah, I got to watch what I say on here, right? It's recorded, but I have a lot of socialist tendencies, man. You know?
Yeah, and for me, it's I don't think I'm socialist. But I also I'm very much I think capitalism for the most part
Oh, hands down,
is the best way to do it.
Yeah,
but
I love
you
the free
can't.
market.
But you can't do things without repercussions, right? You can't. So this is the way I break it down. The United States is a really cool club to belong to. Taxes are the membership fee.
Yep.
And corporations, unfortunately, and again, I believe that we need business pushes and creates jobs and all that stuff, but you can't operate your business and forget about the people that are making it possible.
You cannot. If it wasn't for them, then how does it work? You know, I agree. It's yeah. So, but I hear you. You know, the thing is like, I'm all for free market capitalism. It's a beautiful thing in this country, but you know, I grew up so poor that I just I guess I got
There he is.
frozen again.
Charlie's back.
There, yeah. All right. That you know, there's I grew up so poor, man, with my mom working so damn hard that there are people that do need help and deserve it.
Right.
You know, and why not help them? Like, don't you think like we're a modern society that can do it? You know, but I understand everybody's so scared. Everybody needs to have an enemy to look at, to blame, you know, and be like, well, you know, I'm better than them because this, you know, I get it. But if we can look
and the whole argument with teach a man to fish, give a man a fish, I believe in teach a man to fish, right?
Yeah.
So
Teach a man to fish.
my whole complaint with this pull yourself up by the bootstraps, that's fine until you realize that you didn't give anybody any boots.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say. I knew it was coming.
Love Charlie, dude.
I know.
It's true. Like our education system is horseshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If
Even
we-
the higher
if we-
education.
Yeah. If we invested in education, we give the people tools to be successful.
Mhm.
That it's no harder than that.
You know, shame on my school. Shame for not teaching me how to file taxes. You know, shame for them not teaching me.
I
I went to
it should have been
checkbook.
like Mrs. Such and Such's class, you know, throwaway class in like high school. You have to do
Home ec.
that. It has
Home
to,
ec was the first thing to get the axe. Most important thing ever.
yeah. Oh, they would show you that in home ec. And
Yeah.
then they turned home ec
How to
into
bake
like
cake.
sex.
Crucial
sex ed.
shit.
Yo, it was home ec in 7th grade where I learned how to make tomato sauce for my pasta. And now I make pasta by hand, and my tomato sauce is bomb.
Mhm.
Come to the
Yo,
house.
I'm
They started
hollering
the
at you
house.
next time. I'm gonna be up in Sonoma soon, man. Yeah,
They
no, I'll holler
started
at you.
combining
Come to the
that
house.
too. They started combining home ec too. It started merging into like they started renaming it, you know, and started merging it into like with sex education too, and like it was always like, and then after a while, it ended up being like this. I forget what they called it. They called it some other unique name, where it was like where you like learned like life skills. It was like life skills or something, and then it kind of like I don't know if they still have it. Kind of fizzled away, but they didn't do enough. Like it could have been something. It could have been something shoehorned on. I think they didn't know how to keep it in with all the other classes. Like you could have given maybe everybody less electives, right? And that life skills class changes. So yeah, maybe it is like home ec, right? Like the legit straight home ec, know how to sew a button back on, all that other good stuff, like iron your clothes, all that good stuff. And then life skills change again, you know, in the next semester, and it's like, you know, taxes, and then it changes
Balance your
again.
checkbook, doing
Yeah.
your
Changes
taxes,
again to
paying your
balance your
bills
check.
on time.
You
Hell
know,
You
yeah.
mature. I like that. You mature with the student as they mature. You
I don't know. I guess I understand how you could do it, and that person could still have it, and then like as you get closer to the summer and the spring months or whatever, then you transition into like the driver's ed. Like throw all that stuff under life skills classes.
Right.
Like it just changes, and like the kid still has it on their curriculum every quarter, and maybe there's just not enough time in the year. But like if you did it from freshman year to senior year,
Yeah.
by the time you get like, you know, sophomore year, you're like starting to like learn how to drive and all that stuff. But by the time you get to senior year, you get past the like balancing of checkbooks and all that stuff and get into like, you know, taxes, you know, what's the other thing that they never tell you about? Well, like how to fill out your tax form when you get hired, your 401k.
Something
like-
as simple as
Financial.
something as simple as filling out a job application.
Yeah.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. You
Yeah.
know.
Oh, like, and then you get into like senior year. Now you're getting into like, you know, what's the proper email you send, and like how do you write?
Job interviews,
interview skills,
follow up letters.
Yeah, follow up list. Then you could be having them fill out college applications in the class for credit. It's like an easy way to get a grade, and you having them do the stuff that they're.
You know how crazy it is
hackers.
to fill out a college application?
Yeah, it's
I was
difficult.
home. I was home from the army and was still
expensive.
overwhelmed.
Yeah,
and it's really expensive. You know, being that poor kid in Florida, I couldn't even like really afford sending in. Like they're like, oh, this. If you want us to read it, it's going to cost $80. I'm like, what? Like, bro, what is this? Like,
How much?
And then the crazy part about it, like I did this a little bit in high school, but like I didn't apply for a bunch of things. But like my sister-in-law did this a lot in college, and like she applied for every like scholarship and like little type of scholarship you could think of.
That can be overwhelming too.
And she just kept applying, writing papers or whatever. And so by the time the end of her senior year or whatever was coming around, I mean, you're supposed to have like, a bunch of students, apply for this, and you have like 2, you have like 3 or 4, or maybe 1. You know how much scholarship money she got in a year because she just sat there and like did that all the time on the weekends.
Good.
It started rolling in for Nicole, like for her, like, and that just helped, like.
Wait,
that's those things you could tell students. Like,
her name's Nicole.
Yes.
And who's this? Your sister?
Sister-in-law, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sister-in-law. My sister's Nicole.
Mm-hmm. Ah, cool.
And one of my best friends' name is Charlie. So just
it's a badass name,
It is
yeah. And then Spanish version of Charlie is
Carlo.
See? Like I did that? Yeah, blew your mind right there.
Here we are, JeanCarlo. And your neighbor is JC. My biggest client right now, his name is JC. It's
So when we were all in the house, we had a Carlos, Juan Carlos, and a John Carlos.
That was the best.
Bad joke.
But that's literally the situation. Yeah, when the 3 of us are in Sonoma, that's a situation. There's a JeanCarlo, a Juan Carlos, and a Carlos.
Yeah.
What a mess.
So then if we do our big chant, then we turn into like, I don't know, Mumra or something.
Something, man. Or we just like bust out into singing Buena Vista Social Club. It gets like salsa all of a sudden, man.
Right. That's the theme song.
Yeah. Oh man. Cool, man.
That's awesome. So you are well traveled, my friend.
Yeah, man. And I love to travel. I continue traveling. I was in Israel. I was filming in Israel once. Have y'all ever been to Israel? That's an experience. I recommend it. It. Yeah, man. It's a pilgrimage for a lot of people, and it's so spiritual and this and that, and it's beautiful, But man, I'm not much of a believer, man. Religion and stuff. Because I see through the veil, man. I see how the church is always tied to artists, and artists create powerful imagery, and powerful imagery or music stirs the soul. That's the magic. That's the magic. Right. It's the same magic that we see in the movie theater. That's it.
Right. And take a look at the struggle between government and religion. Why is it that they're fighting for the same exact thing?
Because they all want the power. They literally looking for the same power, So, but yeah, no, I love traveling. Israel was a cool trip. That was just a couple years ago where I went to go film some documentary content. And I would go back. I want to go back because a lot of times, I haven't been to, Africa or even South America yet. Those are next. But just, it's something about the Middle East. I want to explore more of it. I want to go to some of the, some of the other regions. I really, like Jordan. And I want to go to Iraq. There's a big Iraqi community out here in San Diego, and I love those people. I love food. I love the culture. I love the whole vibe. So I really want to explore out there. There's just so much out there, and yeah, and then also I go to Mexico a lot. Being right around the corner from Mexico, I'm 20 minutes from the border, so. There's a wine region down there. It's not, it's no Sonoma, Carlos. Excuse me.
I mean, you can't win them all.
It's a nice vacation spot. They're really trying to cater, and do a nice job down there. So yeah, man, I love getting out. I really do, as much as I can. My wife and I she's going to a conference in DC, the American Library Association conference, I think is the one. Forget me if I got it wrong. I'm sure she would have.
He's looking over his shoulder, waiting for her to bust in.
Wrong.
I said St. Louis.
Yeah. But you know, that's going to be incredible. And I'm going to tag along with her just so I can go to DC. I haven't been to DC in years, you know, and then, but even then I'm turning that into work. Now I'm going to go shoot some segments in New York while I'm there. I'm like, hey, so-and-so, do you want to go film some stuff? I'm like, yeah, done. I'm like, okay, great. Now the trip's paid for. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Turn it into work.
Beautiful.
Yeah, make it work.
And what do you shoot on?
Right now I'm shooting on a Lumix GH5.
Ooh.
For my documentary content. Right now it's my buddy Matt's camera. He lets me borrow it a lot because we're kind of like business partners on a lot of stuff. I'm trying to get him to where he can quit his day job and him and I work together full time. I was the first one to make the leap. I'm trying to get like another client, you know, to cover him to do it. But he lets me use his GH5. And now that Lumix just released a new S1, I think GH5s are going to get cheaper. And I think I'm just going to build like a little armada of GH5s because I really love the way they look, man. And I love, I shoot a lot of Sony too, Sony A7 R3. And I love the Sony look too. But for the stuff I do, I just love color. Like I really love the way the GH5 looks for documentary work. There's nothing like it.
Have you looked into the black magic?
I call it black tragic.
No, you don't like it. Okay. Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Okay.
I've shot on a lot of black magic cameras. I got a buddy with some of my best friends out in Orlando.
Hey, Joey Wall is on. I told you he was going to log in. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Morning, Joy.
Hey,
Joey, you got a new follower on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that was me that followed him. Hey Joey, I like your work. So
I was just
you know what I
like? Cinema cam, you know, the pocket cinema.
I can't hate on Black Magic too hard because I got a lot of their products here in my house. I got like their web presenter for live streaming. I love the ATEM switcher. They make a really nice switcher. You know, the ATEM. Dude, that's my shit, dude. I'm always using ATEMs, but just for the dynamic range, like their blacks. It's funny because it's Black Magic, but the black levels on their video, I'm just not digging it, man. It's always it's messed me up on some projects on documentary stuff.
Yeah.
It needs to be really well lit, and I'm working in a world where sometimes there's no lighting. You know?
Yeah, because I was looking into their pocket cinema camera. I just didn't know how that would be. I mean, obviously, based on what you're shooting in, you know.
That being said, the pocket cinema camera does beautiful stuff. I was talking like on some of the more high-end Black Magics, like the Ursas.
Yeah.
You know? That being said, the Ursas I messed with, that was 4 or 5 years ago. You know, I'm sure they fixed that problem. They must have. If they're going to be still in business, they got to fix this. You know,
I mean, you could just go get you a red, and then you'd be good to go, right?
That's the goal. That's the goal. Right. You know, really, what I want is either a Sony Venice or like an Ari Alexa. Or
okay. Okay, now you're being fancy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's on the level of red. That's on the level.
I know. Yeah.
But you know,
like, and then after that, I want to get into like taking X-rays. And then like seeing through walls.
It's all photography. You know, like I love that shit. Yeah. Why not? You know,
perfect. 9 footage. You know, just
Oh, totally, man.
And you create all your own stuff too.
You mean like for who? Like for my clients, I created. I edited also. I edited.
What are you using for that? For your color grading?
Adobe Premiere. I got the Adobe suite.
We're gonna have to stop talking because all my this or that's like we've legit. I have to cross off 4.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
3 of my this or that's.
Oh yeah. Oh, good, man. No, do you want to get into that segment now? Let's do it. Let's do it. No. He said no. Well, thanks for asking. So I use for editing Adobe Suite, man. All of it. I call it the suite. That ages me.
Yeah.
I just called it Suite. You know.
Have you tried Resolve?
I love Resolve. I'm a huge fan of Resolve. I'm waiting for Resolve to take over.
Why aren't you just in it?
Huh?
Why aren't you just in it now?
Because I provide work for other people in the industry that don't always live in the Resolve universe, you know. And I wish they did because I'm a huge fan of it. And I'm a believer in Resolve. And I if I could call a deep long game play, I think Resolve is gonna disrupt, you know, especially
100.
But then,
Bill,
yeah,
I'm all in.
but it's already been there for so long.
Yeah.
It's been industry standard software for almost 20 years already. I remember going to God, man, I was like 14, going to this badass color correction studio in LA. It was called like LSI, something like that. And they had like a 2K system. This was back when like HD just came out. You know what I mean? And they had a DaVinci 2K system.
They had the whole controller set up. Yeah.
Controllers, and the walls were gray, and there was lights on the back of the monitors, and they had Flanders Scientific monitors. I mean, dude, that's the level of shit I aspire to, on the science of it. I love that kind of science stuff.
Yeah.
And I've kind of modeled my studio kind of based off of that right now, even though it's still somewhat of a humble, apartment-based edit bay. But yeah, no, DaVinci, man, I'm a believer. And not only that, but I think Fusion is now in their realm. It's like their version of After Effects. Fusion's incredible. Have you messed with Fusion yet, Charlie?
Yes, I switched my studio over to Fusion this past year. So we still use After Effects, but I took a Nuke class a couple years ago now, and then like from that, because Nuke is just crazy expensive, we looked into Fusion and fell in love with it. And like you can't beat like buying Fusion for $300, and now you have
and you own it.
You own it, and now you have the whole
Right.
DaVinci Resolve suite. They give you the whole suite for free too.
Yeah, and you can't
beat the same dongle. Now you need to change that dongle stuff. Let's go. It's 2019. I don't need a software dongle. Let's go.
Yeah,
but at the same time, one of the alternatives to that is where you would then have to check on their server for proper licensing.
Well, no.
And that gets
everybody in. But you know what? If anything, you know what the dongle should be? A nice wheel for you to control your sliders, your color sliders.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That should be the dongle.
Use it because like you can move that stick.
What's the dongle? You want to know what my dongle looks like now? It's this. This is my dongle for all things Universal Audio products. It's either that or you remember that.
That's a smart move.
You remember that giant rack I just showed you? That's a dongle. Literally, you plug it in, and then the website. The first time I plugged it in, the website came up, said register your product. I'm like, boom, this is the dongle. The hardware's the dongle.
That's the move right there.
I mean, because the new stuff they're doing, like even the in-house version of Fusion inside of Resolve now is cool. I still like the standalone, but we've done two or three projects, and we also done a commercial based on an AR project we did for Nissan. Do it, and that was really nice too. We happen to be we've been doing like Fusion, and we was able to give them the footage, and they happened to be the other studio we worked with out in LA happened to be using Fusion as the colorist. He was using DaVinci, so I was like, ooh, so it was just like perfect mix, give them the Rec 709 footage.
Yo, we got to collab on some stuff.
Yes, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yo, hey, here's the move. You and me, JeanCarlo, we get together, we shoot a bunch of footage.
Done.
We send it over to Charlie.
Effects.
It's probably going to be crazy because we're going to be drinking wine, so it's going to be wine related, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I like it's wine related.
Yo,
I have this idea.
I got the dankest bottle of right here.
Hey, let me tell you something.
This region.
Let me tell you something. The European wines, they're like, why am I going to put a hot label on this? The wine is good enough.
The wine
speaks for itself.
Damn right it does.
Yeah.
You know what I found out? I kept thinking, sorry to change the subject, but I'm like, man, this tastes so incredible, like oaky and the taste like the smell of a cellar, and I really love it. Dude, they don't use any there's no wooden barrels used in this process. It's all concrete.
Whoa.
Concrete.
Freaks me out, man. But it's old world wine. It's been around for hundreds of years, man.
Yeah.
Same process,
Yeah, Charlie, they use concrete eggs to ferment wine. And it looks like Mork for Mork. Well, that shows my age, but it looks like it's just a huge egg. The three of us can probably get in there. It'd be kind of close quarters, but we can fit in there. But most of the time they use concrete for white wine because you don't want the flavor of the wood to come through.
Yeah.
But then the red wines and stuff like that, they'll put in the barrels that you guys always see. to ferment in there. But if you're saying that they're making that red wine in a concrete barrel,
and the flavor, it's something else. I really enjoy it, man. I'll have to bring a bottle up for you guys, man. Yeah.
don't threaten me with a good time.
Done. Done.
You got a couple spots to crash into.
Carlo, I sent you that link.
It's true.
That commercial, man.
Hey, we should piss JC off. You come up and hang out. We'll go do a bunch of video shooting and stuff like that, and we'll go wine tasting and stuff, and then be like, hey, what's going on?
Wouldn't that
As we drive by his house,
we go up to his doorstep like a little buzz, and we're like, hey, we've been hanging out all day. He'll be like, his mind will blow.
You didn't call me?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't call me? What the hell? And then we say, don't be gel. Don't be gel. Don't be gel.
How about you don't say that?
That's his. I'm sorry, man. That's his like catchphrase, and I love it.
Yeah.
Not literally a catchphrase, but he said it to somebody like via text on a comment. You know, like he tagged us all on. He's like All-Star Charts team, and then one of his buddies, Sean, was like, because he wasn't there. And he's like, you were invited. Don't be gel. And I'm like,
he does it. Hey, JC does it to trigger people.
Dude,
he loves triggering people.
Yeah. He's a smart dude.
Yeah.
Our
buddy JC gets to travel to talk about like stock markets for like different countries and stuff. Dude is bonkers.
Yeah, dude. God, have you ever had him on this show?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, it's different world. Right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
This is more the creative, working creative kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'd be hilarious to have him on here, but he'd be saying goofy things like toast and jelly and totes gel, and Charlie would spontaneously combust.
What did you just say?
Yeah. Oh man. Hey, real talk though, Charlie, I need fusion training from you. I want to get my matte painting like legit.
Yeah, man. Come on. Let's do it. I've been doing it for the last year and a half, 2 years now. I'm loving it.
Shit. Well, you're now a pro, man. So what city are you in?
Chicago.
Oh, one of my favorite cities, bro.
That's why we can get along. That's why we can get along.
Love Chicago. Love Chicago. I like that you like Chicago too, Carlo.
I sent you that link.
I was born and raised there.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm from Chicago. Yeah. Look at.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's from Chicago. Yeah.
Give my ignorance. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking at your commercial right now, man. Let's see what's going on.
I like how you get some music.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn it down. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Well, we're doing that.
Did you generate the little particles on your title cards too?
No, it's a collab. We did all the compositing.
Oh, the compositing
of the AR footage.
Oh, really?
And then all the the CG cards and all that good stuff. And then we got the live action footage from the colorist that was like raw,
bro.
And then they
bro, you're my dude. Oh, I'm in love with this. Okay. Yeah. This is so sick.
My other shout out to my senior designer Mitch who looked all that stuff up with us, and he learned it and realized he doesn't want to use Adobe ever again. and then he got into DaVinci Resolve. He was like, and now he triggers some of the other motion designers on the team. And he'll just say, well, I'm just tired of using the hobbyist program. And then my other motion designer will look over his computer screen and be like, excuse me?
Adobe is very approachable.
But he just goes in. I love Mitch for that. Shout out to Mitch, man.
Just really
shout out to Mitch.
That's hobbyist.
The designer he is. He just
Mitch.
He goes in. I like him.
I love it.
Mitch is a hipster.
He's just playing.
Loyalty will switch.
Mitch is a hipster.
He's a straight designer. Every way through.
Shit.
I just and then with Mitch. Now I'm gonna have to clip this and have a segment because I'm talking about Mitch now. But Mitch he'll say different things as a designer that I'll catch in conversation when we're talking, and then no one else catches it. And then you know how you look around the room and you're like, did y'all just hear what he just said? And then finally I have to be like, look, I gotta stop the work conversation and I gotta actually tell you, what do you mean by that? He's like, what do you mean? You don't do this? I'm like, no, Mitch. I consider myself an artist and designer also, but like you're on a different level. Like we were talking about today about a point cloud we were rendering of like, grocery rack or whatever.
Yeah.
Some really cool effect thing we're talking about. But then that divulged into talking about different like plastic bottles and stuff that you get at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And Mitch will buy a certain detergent bottle or some type of bottle based on how it looks. If it's interesting and it looks really good to him, he'll like pick it up. And I'm like, wait, what? So you're not just getting Dawn, you're getting the like fancy looking bottle because it's fancy. And he's like, hell yeah, dude, I buy a lot of things off of what I like. You are such
I mean,
you're such a designer.
I mean,
Yeah. That's a designer through and through, man.
yeah.
He said it casually.
Yeah.
So he said it casually and it glossed over the conversation. No one caught it. I was like, this dude's over here. If I just made some really crazy mold injected like detergent bottle, Mitch is gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I gotta buy it.
Marketed for Mitch. But like all these Chinese companies are getting wise on that. We were talking about DJI earlier, right?
Yeah.
And now this other company, Autel, that's disrupting them. The Chinese company have gotten wise to the design craft and the value on the first impression craft. And DJI is really pioneering that with their nice packaging.
Mhm.
They want the whole thing to be an experience now, and they woke to it. Everybody woke up to it, even the Chinese manufacturers. But now, what's cool is that now that they're appealing to professionals like us, we demand quality, we demand shit that
Right.
work. So now they're compensating, and shit's finally kind of happening.
They're going toward the
Right.
prosumer,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And compared to a lot of the products that are coming out of China, DJI is handling business for real.
Yeah.
I mean, their stuff is legit.
It's becoming industry standard. It's becoming
Right.
industry standard, dude. If
Right.
you need quick drone, dude, if we're talking about like Game of Thrones level shit, right? Yeah, they would never use a DJI Pro Platinum. But if you're talking about where you have budgets like that, where you can spend, I mean, they're spending millions of dollars a day. So if you have a production where you could spend $100,000 in one day, right? A $3,000 drone's a disposable drone.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
me?
They're gonna get one of those big. They're gonna get the big ones.
Exactly. So
hang in the air for a half an hour, 2 hours.
yeah.
No, actually, you're gonna have a helicopter with cameras attached to it. Is what
Yeah,
you're gonna
or
have.
you're gonna hire Fred North. You hire the guy, his name is Fred North, to shoot it for you.
Yeah, I've seen these big drones. We had them in the studio for a meetup. Like some of them are like huge. They do for
Yeah.
for
What was
actual
that?
like events and like
Lift 40 pounds, 50 pounds. We got drones now that can lift. I mean, people, man. So,
You guys,
that
I was just gonna say, you see the drone that they have where it's a legit
Bubble
not cabin, but yeah, like a person can get in and you can fly it and you don't need a pilot's license.
yeah,
what?
Yeah.
you don't need a pilot license, huh?
Why is that?
That's gonna be so disruptive, man. The lack of
Loophole.
pilot license, that's gonna disrupt the whole avionics industry, and drones have already done that already. I actually have a little flight book here. I got logged pilot hours because I've been training to become a pilot. It's an expensive undertaking.
Yeah.
And I want to get back
Plane
into
or
that.
helicopter?
Well, I think I'm going to switch to helicopter. It was plane at first, doing the Cessnas. And now I think I want to switch to helicopter. It's lower altitude flight.
Mhm.
Ultimately, well, why not do both? We'll see. I don't know. That's that's a long-term play too. But it's really accessible and it's something I've always been fascinated with. But the reason I was really inspired to get my plane license is, number one, I want to pilot my drones commercially, not sketch. To be honest, a lot of smaller production companies do pilot drones illegally. That shit is they're gonna put the kibosh on that, I think, in the next 5-10 years really hard. So that was one of the motivations to get a pilot license. And man, you just realize, that's the future of the highways. I mean, is just, plane travel. Because I saw like a functioning, like a concept video something similar that you were talking about. You know, a cabin that you can walk in, a little cab that had 30 little propellers that were encased in, like, they kind of look like little jet engines, but they're really propellers. And it was a little drone that could fit 2 people, and they had live video of it, and it was working, a totally functioning prototype that was well designed and beautiful. I'm like, dude, this is it. You know, get your pilot license now. But now if you're telling me that some of these are going to hopefully be sold and marketed like you can do this without a pilot license, that's going to be the most disruptive thing.
Yeah.
And
you're going to see a whole bunch of morons out there.
Yeah,
landing on someone's house
or flying too high.
Well, no. The thing is that you're not piloting anything. It's a robot that's doing it for you.
It's more like a taxi service,
right? Exactly. You don't pilot anything. You know.
You know how hard it is to. I mean, under proper situation, under the proper situation. You know how hard it is to crash a drone these days. You have to want to.
Yeah, we have to try to, you know, unless either that or right now the really cutting edge stuff is some of these first person drone operators that wear the goggles and they just do the most gorgeous photography. I think that's the next wave of
what started out like racing first and then it turned into like just cool. Now you see what I see. Let's take the picture, you know.
Yep, absolutely. And we see these crazy shots that look like legit. You, Charlie, working in effects, you know, they look like Harry Potter camera shots that are usually always done in CGI, but now people are getting the shots for real with these cameras.
What's the new DJI with the 2 different versions? There's a zoom version. Those are the
Mavics.
Mavic 2s.
It has the Hasselblad lens on it, right?
Yeah, dude, the Hasselblad lens is what I took to JC shoot in Breckenridge. And if you get the neutral, dude, we were shooting on snow, man. We were shooting one of the hardest things to shoot, you know, snow. You know, there's no detail in snow, dude. You put the neutral density filter on that thing, you're seeing
everything.
Magic,
from the sky with that Hasselblad camera, and that drone costs like $3,300, man. And that ain't cheap, man. That's not cheap.
What's the better one to do? Is it the zoom or is it the one?
It depends on what you want to do.
The application. If you're trying to be a creep and a spy, you need the zoom.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you pick between the two?
For me, it's the Pro all the way because you have
Platinum Pro, man. That's the 2-inch sensor. The Hasselblad is my pick.
Yeah.
Bigger sensor. Ultimately, you want a bigger sensor.
Yeah.
That's my school of thought. Now, where I, you know, my big quandary is that I like the GH5, which is a micro 4/3 sensor. And right now that's my little documentary go-to, but it's my little documentary go-to because the image stabilization on that thing is so damn good that I can shoot for hours and hours and hours handheld and really not need a gimbal, you know? And that allows me to like sneak into like crazy places where security is always like, wait, you can't be here.
Yeah.
You know? There's a lot of
but have you messed around with the GoPros? And even DJI now has the DJI Go or whatever the hell that's called these days.
Action cam.
Whatever, the action.
I don't know what it's called. Yeah. I think DJI.
I had the GoPro 7 Black on a remote control car.
You blew my mind with that video, by the way.
Crazy, right?
Remember I commented on it because you blew my mind with that.
Yeah.
It was so steady. And I had to be like, yo, what the hell's going on here? Because it's a cool video, man. So, yo, why aren't you doing more of those? You need to go into like city sewers with that thing and like scope shit out.
Right. No, I need a remote control car, but that's a good idea. I've been researching cars that'll go like in water and not necessarily go underwater, but actually make it through water. Without being ruined. And I've been researching that because and for people that don't know, if you want a somewhat affordable camera dolly that you can get a remote control car and attach a GoPro to the top of that bad boy and get after it. I mean, the footage is unique.
With the new GoPro, I would say the most expensive part of that rig would be the GoPro. The new,
Yeah.
you want the GoPro like the plus or the black, you know, the nicest one they have.
Yeah.
But dude, the image stabilization on that GoPro is something
It was
else.
crazy. The horizon was hella steady, and under here you see the car just.
For real, the video looks nuts. It looks, dude. That should be, man. That's a music video concept right there. We got to do something with that, man. Because that just, it looks surreal. You know.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's another cool look that I've been seeing with like hyper stabilized stuff to where when you see like other sources, they look kind of out of whack, you know, and out of phase. You know what I mean? Like when you focus and you stabilize on one thing, everything else kind of looks surreal. I like that look.
Yeah.
I think that's something that can be explored. You see it like sometimes. You remember for a while it was kind of trendy. They were putting. It might have been a GoPro, but they had like these shafts that were coming out of like motorcycle helmets, and then you had a camera that would face the motorcycle driver. And there was a couple companies that were doing cool videos for a while that kind of had that.
Those 360 cameras.
Yeah, not just the 360s. This was before the 360s, but the new 360 cameras. We're talking about the Insta 360 Max or the Insta 360 even.
Yeah.
It's $300. That shit is a game changer. Get one, dude. Get one. It is a game changer. Yeah.
And look, it's not just that, oh, look, we're going to go over here and shoot blah, blah, blah. The way it makes sense is as you're editing, you can move your scene.
Yeah.
You only have to shoot with one camera, and you can move the scene as you're editing to get the proper angle that you're looking for. And you're messing with one camera, one video clip.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they're doing now.
That reminds me of something I wanted to talk about earlier when we were talking about 360 video. I've heard rumors that Netflix is going around the country, or maybe going around, it might have been Atlanta or some shit. Maybe it might just be Atlanta, but I like to think that they got this big play going on,
Right.
you know? And I've heard that they're buying up some theaters, some small theaters, like local black box theaters, like a traditional setting to watch, like a very personal kind of play in, right?
Right.
And I think it's a VR play. I think it's basically a choose your own adventure with live actors that's scripted. And then we can pay an admission fee, or it's a special presentation that's happening live, and we can all tune in on it. And actors are going to act their role, and we can interact and choose things and vote in mass. So if 60% of the audience wants this, maybe that's the action, and then the script goes that way, and it all happens live. Once I heard Netflix was buying up some theaters, this is where my mind went. And dude, if they're not doing that, we got to do that. You know, I hope that's their idea, to do some live theater production where it's basically first person. The camera op, what the people are streaming is first person, and we're interacting. But just like Black Mirror Bandersnatch, it's a choose your own adventure, you know, and it's well produced and executed, you know, with real talent and actors. I think that's their play. If they're buying theaters, there's no other thing that they could. That to me just makes too much sense.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah. And bring back the feature presentation. Bring back the live. You know, I think there's something to that.
Definitely.
I don't know.
Cool. So usually, what we do is we play this or that music, but doom 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 doom, this or that, this or that, this or that, this or that. So there.
The ratchet get over it.
I know, right? Damn it, Jack! It's all your
Set
fault.
up like juke music.
Hey, this or that. Where do we start? Multiple displays or one extended display?
I just had to make the decision very, very recently. And I was going to spend like big money to get that crazy Samsung One long display. And then I realized, you know what? I need a little bit more surface area. So I went for the BenQ multiple display, 2 4K monitors on goosenecks that I can move around, you know, works better for my workflow.
Okay. Dope. Mac or PC?
Currently Mac because I need my shit to be plug and play. But for the last 6 years, I was PC, and I loved the speed. I loved being able to customize things as I wanted. But now, currently, for I don't have the luxury of being able to always fix shit like I used to. I don't have that kind of time anymore. So now I have to be Mac.
Nice. 4K or no, not yet.
4K or no, not yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but I'll tell you what. I've been shooting everything in 4K now for about 5 years.
Oh,
okay. So 4K it is.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. I love it.
Awesome.
Not 5 years. No, that's an overestimate, but I'm all in on 4K. All in. Yeah.
Let's see what else we have. I'm gonna save that one for last. How about San Diego and SeaWorld or Jurassic Park, better known as Florida?
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, man. The more I travel the world, the more I realize San Diego's paradise. So,
Yeah.
San Diego.
Yeah. I did 3 months down there.
I did 12 years, man. 12
Yeah.
years. I started smoking cigarettes at 13, and I was addicted to those until I was 24, man. I saw some shit in Florida. That's another podcast. The shit I
Yeah. Yeah. Florida is a completely different planet.
Oh my god.
It's like it's a Jurassic Park petting zoo.
I love it. There's nothing like it. You know, the talent pool in that city, Jacksonville, Florida alone, I go back there because there's so much incredible talent there. And that city is just so ripe and ready to just blow up, you know? But you know, it's a Southern Baptist church, man. They control that city. Right. They will not let it happen. Literally. That's literally the grip of it.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. That's a fascinating story. But Jacksonville is it's ready, you know?
Yeah.
So close. So close. Love that city. Nothing like it in the world.
So for those that don't know, Jacksonville it's in the it's on the water, but in the Gulf of Mexico side.
That's no, Jackson on the Atlantic side.
Atlantic side. Okay.
Tallahassee.
What am I thinking?
Tallahassee's the Gulf side.
Yeah, but not Tallahassee, because I know Tallahassee is like hillbilly as all get out.
Yeah, I'll go there.
I'm trying to remember. Anyway, doesn't even matter. Cool.
But they call Jacksonville the first coast. So you're going down, you know, from Georgia, and then boom, you hit Jacksonville, and it's the first city that's still on the beach. You know, it's very up north in Florida, but it's an interesting place. I love it, man. I recommend it, man. If you've never been, the art community in Jacksonville, it's way cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mom lives just outside of Orlando.
Oh.
And I have a bunch of aunts and uncles and cousins.
We
and
got
stuff.
so much in common, Carlos.
Yeah, we do.
We
gotta do a 23andMe.
Yeah. I know we probably are related, dude, for real. I love that.
All right, Charlie, you're gonna like this one.
Okay, what's up?
Audible or library?
Ooh. You know what's funny is that I still haven't actually tried Audible books. And my wife is a librarian. So librry.
I was waiting for you to say
know?
something so I could call her and be like, "Yo, come get your man."
Library. Walk by.
What I love about libraries is a meme that I saw put it very succinctly. Libraries are some of the last places on earth, at least in our country, that you can show up to and not be expected to buy shit.
Nice feeling.
It is a nice feeling. You can just go and hang out, you know, and she'll tell you the stories. You can go cause trouble and write "tickle me" on the wall and all these crazy, terrifying things, you know. But library.
Sit and read a book. Yeah,
and then go read a book. You know.
Cool.
All right, yeah, that's it for me.
Yep.
As far as this or that, so thank you.
That's
for
fun.
playing.
Yeah,
That's
thanks, man.
fun. I like that game.
Learn
And
it.
I was going to read to you guys. I let you guys completely geek out, and then all of a sudden, all my this or that's were getting answered. So some of the other ones that I had were Premiere, Final Cut, Sony, Nikon, Canon.
Ooh, Sony.
Oh.
Sony. You know, it's a different look though, because my buddy just bought a Nikon Z6, and we were doing some camera tests with it the other day. And I'm just like, oh, well, if you want to shoot something and kind of make it look like Planet Earth David Attenborough with no color correction, you know, like out of the box, that's what the Z6 is for. And that's why it's so good for shooting weddings. And you know, that's the appeal to that. I know a lot of wedding photographers, a lot of lifestyle guys, you know, really love Canon and Nikon, and a lot of film guys like Sony and Fuji and Panasonic, you know, and but me, man, I think Sony for the long game, like 50 years down the road, Sony's still gonna be there. Is Red gonna be there?
Sony's been killing it though. Like
they're killing it.
The thing with Sony though, the problem that they continue to run into is they come up with some super dope technology and then they just keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
Well, they make the best camera sensors right now, I would say arguably, you know, then at least on the kind of level that allows us access to do what we do.
Right.
And all the other camera brands you were talking about, I think kind of have Sony sensors in them. You know, so there's something to that.
Ones like Sony came out with their mirrorless cameras and they were killing the game. Canon and Nikon are still like, Nikon just came out with a mirrorless camera 3 months ago.
3 months ago, that's the one we just did the camera test on. And what does it have? The only way, it only has one slot, one card slot. And what format is it? A Sony XQD format, a proprietary format that Sony created.
Right.
They're like, ha ha ha.
And the sensor, I think it's still Sony components. Sony components, man.
You're all in. Yeah, Sony's like, I am the only girl for you.
Long game, Sony.
No one else.
The 50-year play, Sony.
Right. Because look at like Sony back when there was VHS and Beta.
Yeah.
Beta was better.
Yeah.
But VHS, I think, you know what happened, and I researched this a little bit just to see, and I'm not completely convinced, but you know what helped VHS win that war?
What?
Porn.
Because it was a cheap format and easy to record at home on, but it was porn. Well, porn, you know, porn is what made the reason we're chatting, my friend, on this live broadcast so beautifully with this crisp video compression. Porn, my friend. You know, video compression. The reason video compression is good is because of porn. You know, that's still the battle.
There's a way.
That's a fun thing to talk about, you know, and Charlie, I'd love to pick your brain on that, on video compression. What do you think? How about this or that for y'all? What's your file format for video compression? What's your final output? And then what's your client round? What do you send? Like, do you do H.264s, .mp4s?
We do H.264. Yeah, we do that normally. And then if it's like more heavy lifting, we'll like get into the raw formats, you know. We'll do like the Rec 709 footage type stuff. But a lot of times it's H.264, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of times. Or I get into the weird like LED, like the weird like HAP.
Like HAP. I love HAP. You know what? Can we talk about HAP real quick? Nobody knows about the HAP code.
Now.
Nobody knows about HAP.
So, legit did not think I was gonna get into compression.
Nobody knows about HAP, man.
Yeah, shout out to Mitch. If I didn't have him, I would not know all of this stuff.
Hey Mitch, I can't wait to talk to you too.
Yeah, so go in with you, but yeah, HAP. Yeah,
HAP codec is cool because when I was doing like that virtual reality room, that 360 video room, the only way, and we had like a badass like $40,000, like two $40,000 units of video playout servers just to play like the video. And and the only codec that would work out of it at basically the image and resolution size we were trying to do was HAP. Why? Because HAP is what is it? A not a variable bit rate, but it's a continuous bit rate, and it completely displaces all the processing from what is it? The processor, and makes it forces it to VRAM, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, but
that's the coolest thing ever. That inherent, but the files are huge,
big.
They're like giant.
They're
giant. They're archaic. Giant. No, dude. Like I had a 10-second video that was like 14 gigs. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? That being said, it was like 16,000 pixels. It was a 16,000 by 1080, freaking composition.
You're not delivering that to any client.
Nah, dude, that's straight to playout server, straight to the server, straight to the playout, But HAP was a huge discovery, discovering HAP, because man, that is a small community online. It's rare to find those small it's rare to find those small communities like that, in this day and age. And HAP is that right now.
I mean, when we get into some of the weird projector formats and like when we're doing like wall projections and some stuff like that. Some of those like crazy types NEC projectors and stuff like that. It's like, this doesn't look right. Why is the alpha not look right? Well, let's go try a different compression. Okay.
Try some, yeah.
You try HAP? How long are they gonna take?
Cool. I love that kind of troubleshooting stuff. I do. That's the dream, man, But man, when you're stressed before a gig or before a premiere, before a deadline, the worst.
Not met anybody else as excited about compression formats other than Mitch than you. You are a unicorn.
Hey, buddy.
I need to put you in context.
He's not gonna say, "Hey, Charlie, he's not gonna sleep for 3 days."
I just didn't know. I'm literally gonna show this to my buddy tomorrow.
I love that, man. Yeah. So you're not a believer in H.265 just yet?
Not yet. But
why not?
I haven't. To be honest, I haven't really looked.
I'm not delivering much in it myself. I'm just wondering why you.
We haven't yet. No, at all.
Okay.
At all. So.
Yeah. I think the potential's there, man, because the files, man, they look great, but just, the thing is, it's compatibility. Not every platform is ready for it, but I think it's going to happen. Cool. Yeah. I love it. HAP. There's like 3 different forms of HAP.
We've been talking for like 2.5 hours.
This is a real one. This was one of those real ones.
Yeah, I know.
I like that.
And I'm afraid because it's a slippery slope. Like we're at the point where we can go.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that time here.
Yeah, it's already tomorrow in where Charlie's at.
Yeah, that's right. Go to the Billy Goat Tavern. Tell him I sent you. All right.
I'm safely back in my house. The burbs.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, the burbs.
I'm in Des Plaines, so I feel like I'm at the best place to be. Having to work in the city. It's the best. It's 40 minutes. Yeah. Not bad.
So I got a question for you now also, Charlie. Isn't the Grayscale Gorilla based out of Chicago?
Yeah, I know those guys well.
Really?
Well, yes.
Yo, hey, this is how
the last Grayscale Gorilla, not the last Cinema 4D meetup that we had there. We had it at my company and we hosted it. We had like 200-300 people, 200 people there or something like that. And like Nick and everybody was there last summer. It was great.
That's sick. Last Sunday.
JeanCarlo, check this out. I used to work at Leo Burnett.
My dad used to be creative director at Leo Burnett, dude. That's crazy, man. So back in the 90s, like back when my mom and I moved to Florida, my dad, I'm like, he left McCann, he went to Leo Burnett. And so yeah, you used to work at Leo Burnett?
Yeah.
Sick, man. That's a nice fucking agency, man.
It was a good time. But I used to ride my bike to work and back home.
Yeah.
And it got crazy because like at least once a week I would see Nick from Grayscale Gorilla walking down the street.
Wow.
I'd be like, "Hey Nick." He'd be like, "What's up, stranger?" He didn't know who the hell I was.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you guys are blowing my mind.
Now he doesn't even live there anymore.
You guys are blowing my mind right now. So listen, now all I want to do is like hang out with y'all and like make
as
creative
well. You
stuff.
should.
Yeah, let's not do let's just do fun stuff.
Yeah, come out. The creative community is awesome.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's what I've been trying to turn my career into.
I get it. Word up. Me too.
Yeah.
Now I'm actively trying to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So you guys need to tune into what I'm doing, because all this stuff that I'm doing with the recording session in Jacksonville, all the jazz music, well, jazz ain't for everybody. I can't get enough of it. I love it. I'm a fiend.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be videoing it all.
Is
You
that
know,
all
and
streaming? Is you streaming any of that? Is that online?
I think I'm gonna bring my little black magic web presenter, and I think I might have to stream some stuff. We'll see. Now I'm gonna leave that up. I'm gonna leave that up to my boy Ben, because ultimately it's his session. You feel me?
Joey Walters, what language is this? Joey, told you it's levels. It's levels to this.
Yeah.
There's levels to this, Joey. You just thought it was 3D talk. We went different.
The right people.
We got deep.
I've been on. It's like shout out to the work. Like you learned so much different stuff and experiential.
Oh, can I put a crazy link for the people of?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
This is a little fun fact. I think you guys are gonna like this. So this let's see, because I think Charlie's gonna get a kick out of this.
Uh-oh.
Oh wait, that's not it.
Oh.
So I don't know, Charlie, if you knew, but I used to be the front man in a rap group.
No, I did not know this.
All right.
Yeah, and I thought they were playing, and when I first met him, JC goes, "Give him some bars," and he started spitting. I was like, "Oh, well, damn, okay."
Is it good? Is it good rap group?
So should I put this in the public chat
Sure.
or the private one?
Sure.
All right, there
Is
you
it
go.
good? What
So
kind of bars are you spitting though?
This is all written, man. It was always like really like some feel good hip hop shit with a jazzy
Okay.
vibe. You know, I'm very golden era.
Like something over a nice Jay Dilla type beat, or
I
like
love Jay Dilla beats. But what's cool about this is over a live band.
okay, even better.
You know,
Oh, you got
and so what's
you're showing up.
What's really funny about this is that little
Yo,
video
the hair, yo. Yo, you biting your lip, you feeling yourself like nice. Let me unmute this so I can hear this.
Give it a listen. Give it a listen.
What we can do, open a new tab because I want to watch this.
I like this. I'm gonna watch this right after. Yeah.
I hope some
Let's
of the,
wrap up. Let's wrap up the show, and now we know that we got to have you back more often.
Oh, well, that means a lot, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
I really had a lot of fun.
He'll like that.
Yeah. So, real quick, before that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, JeanCarlo Mendez, if people are looking to catch up with you online,
Where can I find you?
where can they find you?
So, you can find me on Instagram, JeanCarlo Mendez, JeanCarlo Mendez. You can find me on Facebook under the same name. I'm very approachable, you know. And then Instagram, not just Instagram, but YouTube, JeanCarlo Mendez. My YouTube channel, dude, I build up other people's YouTube channels. Mine is very sparse right now. But now I'm actively putting myself out there. So I'm going to be building up my channel more. And
I know I've been subscribed.
thank you. I appreciate that. I know you have been actually, but there's nothing on there. There's literally nothing on my YouTube channel, and shame on me for that. But you know, I've just been busy doing the stuff for other people, and now I'm doing it for myself, and that's what this transition into this new form of work is. You know, so here we are. So what do you think, Charlie?
I'm gonna listen to it after the show.
Oh, okay. I know. I wanted to get your reaction. You know.
Yeah, I haven't. I put pause. I meant 5 minutes.
No worries, man. Well, it's a real pleasure, man. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course, man. This was
First time ever doing anything like this. So
yeah, and you killed it. This
Thanks.
was great. I mean, you know how hard it is to put in 2.5 hours, and you've never done this before.
but I could talk, man. It's just especially you guys are talking about stuff I really love to talk about, like art and technology. Let's go. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, hey, Charlie. If
Yeah.
people are looking for you, where can they find you?
Find me a couple different spots. You can find me at carcollective.com/Charlie B. Williams. That's my website. Got some new stuff up there. Check out the experiential section to see everything I do on a daily basis. You can find me on the gram Instagram.com/CharlieBW3. I'm starting to put a couple 3D things on there. You know, I had some other stuff on there. I got shout out to a couple people that watched the show. They said they watched the show and put comments, and they said, "Ooh, I love the 3D vlogging or blogging or whatever he did." I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." But you know, I guess they want to see more than just food on that thing. So that was kind of cool. And then finally, you can find me on that almighty
all them ribs. Then that's different.
Oh yeah, well you know summer's coming, buddy. Couple more weeks.
Wait, are you a cook, Charlie?
I like to smoke.
He's a griller. He's a griller.
Oh man, I'm coming to Chicago, and we're about to have a time.
Just go to the Instagram. It's all there.
Oh, I just followed you, man. I'm your latest little heart.
Just go through there. Get in your life. There's a lot of good looking stuff on that gram.
Right.
And then lastly, guys, almighty Pinterest. Pinterest.com/CharlieBW3.
Word.
Check it out. Pinterest will change your life. Get in your life.
I like that. I need to mess with Pinterest. It's
really on my board. Yeah, just go on my board. You don't want to mess with it after you go to my channel. Guaranteed. There's a lot of stuff on there as an artist. It's just better than Google because you can curate everything. If you not looked at a Pinterest thing? I just got my art director into it this week, Carlos. He was like, "I love this." I was like, "Told you."
That's what you should.
He didn't know. You think that was for soccer moms and Lululemon heads?
Right.
No, it's like awesome, controlled, curated content just for what you're into. It's great.
I agree. But you have to be careful. Why? Because once you start,
it's a slippery slope, dude. Look at my Pinterest page. Like everybody goes like, "Dude, why do you have so much?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been doing this for years."
Yeah, whenever that's my first go-to whenever I start like if I'm trying to work on an animation or something, I'll do style sheets and stuff like that on there. Just create a folder
together,
and you throw everything in there for reference material, and then you can share it with people too.
I'm seeing
it's a concepting. All right, you guys are cooking, man. I get it.
Clients put in Pinterest links, start sending on Pinterest. I'm like, look, everybody's doing it now, and I'm like, I was there first, but they're just sitting over a mood board, and it's just a Pinterest link of curated concepts of content of what they want. You can do all the other regular stuff, non-art stuff, but if you use it for art and creative, it's like your own little piece book there with all the stuff.
Hey, I'm Carlos. Well, actually, before I do that, unfortunately, we missed out on Jack. He got stuck at work. He was sending me text messages as the show was happening. But Jack Kasperzak is sketchbookjack.com, sketchbookjack everywhere else. I'm Carlos. You can find me at coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. If you hear my voice, go to youtube.com/coconutjustice and subscribe there. We're trying to do big things. This was episode 182.
Getting up there.
So basically, that being said, we have 181 other shows after you watch this one. So we have plenty of time, plenty of content out there for you guys to check it out. And you can check that out at sketch.zone. And there you'll see all the links to everything else. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. And if you're on Instagram and you feel like doing it, this week we're drawing a fox rocking rooftop. That's the fun prompt. Go ahead and do that. And then what you do is you post it on Instagram, tag us, actually go through the process, hit that little tag person button and tag us. Because then that way we'll be alerted properly and then we'll be able to share it. And then like we did at the beginning of this show, we'll take a look at what the nation did as far as a fun prompt goes, and everyone gets exposure and it doesn't cost anything. And it doesn't cost anything. I already said that.
Yeah, you did.
But I said it twice. So do that for
so nice. You said
don't do logos for companies for free. Just do a fun prompt, send it, and then we'll give you some exposure. Hey, thanks, Landon. Have a good week, dude.
Yeah. Thanks, Landon.
What else? Sketch.zone, Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on all that stuff.
Cloud.
If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. We try to be here every Thursday night, and we bring on professionals like JeanCarlo, and we geek out for a minute, and hopefully you learned something. Something tells me you did, even if it was about compression. And you see, like, you can join us live and we interact with you. So thanks, obviously, Jack. He was in the chat room. Long Arm, Noel,
and I love your sketch prompts. That's how I discovered Joey, man. You know, that's so cool.
Joey's a good dude, man. Long Arm, Noel. Who else? Albert Gonzalez was here.
Corey
Stisser, Joey Wall, Elizabeth Heisel. We're waiting for you to win all your awards so we can show and talk about your animation. I
got a guy that you got to talk to, a beautiful animator that would be a great guest for this show.
Boom. In.
There it is, guys.
In.
Yeah.
So if you can watch us live, you see what we do. We try to bring your questions and everything into the conversation. But if you can't join us live, you can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, iTunes, and of course Spotify. And just because we love you guys as much as we do, we have a Discord channel. If you go to tinyurl.com/sketchzonediscord, what's going to happen is you're going to see that there's we have a bunch of things happening there, and we do things like if you're working on something and you want some feedback on some artwork that you might be working on, a design that you're working on, some animations that you're working on, whatever. If you want the Sketch Zone Nation to check out your video, I do this all the time. If I finish an animation, if I finish a artist al fresco video, a tutorial, I put it up there, and then everyone gives me some feedback on that. So yeah, join that too. And we're here. We're building each other up. And yeah, subscribe because that helps us. And obviously share. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and share it with your friends and let everyone know that we're here every week.
It is.
That's it for us. Everyone, have a wonderful week. tinyurl.com/sketchzone discord. Sketch.zone is the website, and subscribe. That's it for us, y'all. Have a good week.
See you next week, guys.
Thanks for having me on the show, guys. Cheers.